Did your dad teach discipline or just dividend yield? Did your mom burn out or just get out while she still could feel? I ask too much while pretending I'm fine, haunted by charts that never align. My watch list a mess, and so is my gut. I only feel good when my stop loss cuts. I swing trade pain, I invest in regret. I call it long term, but I'm losing the bet. And I scream at the screen like it owes me an answer, but it just winks in green, then hits me like cancer. Did you see me win? Did you see me lose? Am I playing the game or being? Was I ever in control? Hell no, hell no. I romanticize debt like it's someone I miss. Tell myself every loss is just financial bliss. I post fake gains just to feel adored, but I sleep in fear of my own reward. She said maybe take a break, touch grass. I said maybe you should short this crash. I'm up for nothing and down on pride. Broke even once and called it divine. I tattooed tickers where my feelings should go, and now I can't cry without checking the S&P close. Did you see me win? Did you see me lose? Am I playing the game or being? Was I ever in control? Hell no, hell no. I dropped and knocked all his light, get to break up text. Refresh, regret, refresh, regret. The candles twinkle like they're laughing at me. What's talking my bay? Did you hedge your fate? Too late, too late. Did you margin your soul? Too late, are you still pretending this is under control? Too late. Did you lose yourself? Hell yeah, hell
Oh, brother, oh, brother. Buenos dias, my little huevos rancheros. Folks, it's Friday, TGIF, Payday Friday. We're going to be giving away some cash. We're going to be giving away some accounts. We're going to be watching an inflation report. We're going to be listening to Rick Santilli. But most importantly, we're going to be degenerate in the stock market and make some money. So I hope you guys are ready for that. It is a beautiful Friday, June the 27th. Don't forget to get your cup of coffee. We need a little bit of iced coffee to really get the show going today. Like I said, in a mere 5 minutes, we're going to be getting the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure. If you listen to the Fed, apparently they care more about this inflation report than the CPI report. So this is going to be an important one. I gave you some stats, facts, and figures related to the PCE report in yesterday's update video. Folks, do not forget to tune into those update videos. Very, very important. But anyway, if you watch that, you know that the bulls are very much in control. And also, if you have a working eyeball, you know that the bulls are in control because we're literally right now at new all-time highs. Technically, does it count? Well, it depends on what you really trade. But in terms of the pit session, things like SPY and QQQ technically does not count for another hour. So if we were to open right now, dingity ding ding ding, record levels, brand new all-time high. I hope you are getting yours. Yesterday, I was fortunate enough, everyone in the Discord saw it, locked in about $50,000 in calls, profits for calls, and then rolled it to a whole nother position that, based on how this PCE report goes, might be even more. So very, very excited about that, especially because about the past 2 weeks before this, because the market's been so choppy, I've just getting my butt handed to me, just losses and losses and losses. So it's nice to have such these like asymmetric gains now. It's really tough to have a bad day when you're making 50 freaking grand. So I'm hoping to run it back and make even more today. And I hope you guys are getting yours. Feels like the one that I'm really missing out on is Coinbase. We talked about that in the update video as well. That's the major high flying tech play that I did not get the memo on. And by the time I saw it, that thing wasn't just gone. It was in a freaking different galaxy. So to all of you in chat right now that made money on coin, congrats to you. I am jealous of you, and I hope you spend your winnings accordingly, because the gains that ticker has seen is disgusting. Right now, yes, I'm riding the overall market, SPY and Qs. I also have bullish positions on Meta, Palantir, Netflix, and Tesla. So those are my current active plays, all in some form or another a bullish position. Some are a little bit muted by selling puts. Other ones are like straight up calls. And then recently with the SPY and the Qs, I went so deeply in the money that I figured at that point, you might as well sack it up and take on a little bit more risk here. So that's exactly what I'm doing for the PCE report. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Obviously, I'm more than willing, after we party it up with our boy Rick Santilli in 2 minutes here, more than happy to rip a tarot card for you guys to tell you where the market's going to go today. More than happy to do some options breakdowns and some technical breakdowns of whatever tickers are in your mind. And other than that, we have a little bit of extra time before the market really opens today. So yeah, we could do a little bit of a Q&A. I found some videos if you want. We could do some reacting to other trader videos, that type of stuff, get into some good conversation there. Really, folks, it's a beautiful payday Friday. It is your show today. We're going to do whatever you guys want because you are my little huevos rancheros. And with that being said, let's switch it up over here. Where are we at? Why do I not have the headline? What is the, I have two of these up for some reason. I don't know which one's on the right time. But anyway, stock futures rise with S&P 500 near its all-time high. Traders await inflation data. So what we are waiting for is right here, the PCE report. They are expecting the core PCE to be 2.6% year over year and the core PCE month over month to be 0.1. So those are the lines in the sand, but I do want to draw your attention to the fact that these are the core numbers, removing food and energy. So 2.6, 0.1. Feel free to remember that. And we should be getting this very, very soon. Remember, it is opportunities such as this one that if you're looking to pass an Apex account, these are the very easy environments to do it. I have an entire video on it. Basically, how many of our accounts you want to pass, you double it up. And then you go long on half, short on half, max the account or max amount of contracts, set up an ATM where you already have your profit target already set up, and you just let it rip a few seconds before the actual data drop. Is it a guarantee? No. Are the odds really, really good? Yes. There's a very high statistical chance that you're going to pass on half the accounts, which is why you want to double it up. I do want to clarify, though, if you do that on a performance account, they're not going to pay you out. This is exclusively a technique you could use to easily pass the eval. So just want to be very, very clear on that. Where's Tim? Where's his money? He never paid me. You guys might be shocked to find out, but the socialist supporting douchebag in chat who was so sure that he was right, nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. I don't think any of us are surprised. But anyway, this is coming out in 3, 2, 1, boom. Red. Slightly red. Nope, slightly green. Which way are we going? Oh, slightly red? We haven't seen this low for 10 minutes. A muted reaction in SPY. But just to explain why this would have worked with Apex is we started off at 68. Look, it dropped all the way to 50. You only needed a 16-point move, and you exactly got that. So, yes, the bullish ones would have been blown out. The bearish ones you would have made money on. So you would have, congrats, you would have passed those tests, just to kind of explain it. But let's see what Rick has to say. It doesn't really count until we know what Rick's up to.
Inflation gauge, PCE data.
There he
Treasuries,
is.
Rick Santelli.
Get Rick's in chat, folks.
Just do it, Rick. Tell us what you got.
Give it to us, Rick.
May income spending and all the inflation numbers, and there are surprises here. Personal income, which really has been quite strong throughout 2025, takes a bit of a hit here. Down 4
That's not
tenths.
what you want to hear.
We were looking for a number up 3 to 4 tenths. This would be the first negative number going all the way back to what? September of 21.
Personal
and that's
income.
what we comped this to. Sep of 21 when we were minus 6
There's
tenths.
our boy Rick.
Now, if we
As
look
dapper
at
as ever.
spending was down 1/10. We were expecting up 1/10. That equals
Spending
where we
missed as
started
well.
the year at down 1/10. To find a bigger negative number, you're going in the Wayback Machine to Feb of 21. Now, if we look at real spending, of course, it's going to take a bit of a ding. Question is how much? Down 3 tenths. We're expecting this to be near unchanged. This would be the second negative number on real real spending. We started out the year down 0.5% before we really jumped up in March to up 7 tenths to somewhat negate it. So down 3 tenths would be comping to the very beginning of this year. Now to the inflation data. If we look at the PCE on a month-over-month basis, exactly as expected, up 1/10. In the rearview mirror, up 1/10. The best that we had this year was unchanged in March. If we look at the year-over-year PCE, we are at 2.3, exactly as expected. In the rearview mirror, 2.1 now becomes 2.2, so there is an extra tenth of heat in the rearview mirror. Now, year-over-year, core numbers, these are probably the most important. On the month-over-month core, up 2 tenths. That's 1/10 hotter than expected.
Yeah,
1/10
slightly
hotter than
hot.
the rearview mirror.
Slightly
and it
hot.
basically would comp to where we were in the beginning of the year. February, we were up 0.5%. And finally, 2.7. That's the core year over year. I know Becky was talking about it earlier. This
little
is most
hot,
likely what
little
most are
hot
gonna really
team.
concentrate on.
Coming in
It's
a
1/10
little
hotter,
hot.
2.7 than we were expecting at 2.6. And in the rear view mirror,
But I
there
think
was
the
an
bigger
upgrade
issue is
from
actually the
2.5
personal
to
income. That was a huge
2.6.
miss. What was
So
it?
there
They
is a
expected
stickiness
0.3,
here.
came in at a
And this
drop of
stickiness has
0.4.
remained for quite a long time. We have made progress. Things aren't really necessarily getting worse, although a couple of tenths here and there on revisions. But I guess the real issue, to take a step back, is it still doesn't look like 2% is in the crosshairs, and that's the Fed's amount. That's their target for some of these numbers.
That's the big
Interest
issue right
rates,
there,
big
personal
moves on the
income.
week, not on the day. At 426 right now in a 10-year, we're up 2 on the day. But on the week, remember that what we have in a 10-year right now, we closed last week at 438. We're at 425, 426. And in the 2-year, we closed last week at 391. We're currently at 327, at 372, 373. So you can see there has been almost a 20 basis point move on the short end, and the curve steepening.
Even spending
well, that
down.
probably is because
So
of this
income
notion of
taking a large hit,
pre-announcement on the
spending a
Fed
slight
chairman.
hit, and then
Back to you.
Yeah, everything was like slightly
Rick,
bearish
thank you. Joining
or
us now, Seth
slightly
Carpenter,
negative,
Global
and the
Chief
market is
Economist at
interpreting it
Morgan
as
Stanley.
slightly
Steve
bearish.
Leisman, is also here. Steve, welcome, Seth. Good to have you on. Let me just.
Did Steve get a tan?
I said immediately, wow, we got good reasons and bad reasons to cut rates.
Yeah, there's a lot to get through here, Joe, and I think we're
Give
still
it to us.
seeing maybe some distortions from tariffs and some of the changes going on from the Trump administration. So just to get to the income number, which
Slightly
correctly
down
raised,
has been the net
rhetorically raised
impact
his
from this
eyebrows
high.
on.
So
I
we're
wanna
still
read you
above
a
the
line
high
from
from
the
yesterday.
statement
We're
here. The
still at
decrease
new all-time
in
high
current
territory,
dollar
but
personal
relative
income
to
in May
just this announcement,
reflected
slight
decreases
red.
in government social benefits.
Slight.
And
Little
that
baby
has something
red.
to do with a decline from the Social Security Fairness Act or payments from that. Don't know about that. I need to look into that. Then I want to tell you something else here. The $29 billion decrease in current dollar PCE in May, and that's the spending, reflected a decline of $49 billion in spending on goods, partly offset with an increase of $20 billion in spending on services. What is that telling you? Well, two things, I think. You might have had a decline because the benefits decline. You may have had a decline in spending.
Hey,
But
all
this
you
is the reverse
degenerates.
of the front loading.
Bubba
This
Lancers,
huge increase
good
in
morning.
goods spending in the prior months. Now they're unwinding that a little bit. So like I said, when the May retail sales came out, it was minus 1%. I said, let's chill a little bit on this because we're not sure if this is actual weakness or it's just payback from the front loading. So I'm going to take a, what do you call that? Neutral on this number.
Mulligan.
I'm not panicking on the consumer right here, right now.
What do you think, Seth?
So I think Steve's got it generally right. The spending number was pretty much in line with what we were thinking, negative a tenth a month. Is that
right? Negative 0.1.
And the payback in the good side of things makes total sense given how much advanced spending we had seen.
Traders
the surprise, though, is exactly what Steve
this?
flagged as well, which is the fall in income. Trying to figure out
Traders
exactly
see
how much
September
that is,
start
and if
to
it's
Fed rate
transfers from the
cuts.
government,
Add
so
to bets
usually
Fed will
people are
cut
gonna spend
3
all of
times
it.
in 2025.
Social
So that would be
Security Fairness
September,
Act was signed into
November,
law on
December.
January 5th of this year. It provides retroactive payments and increased monthly benefits to individuals whose Social Security benefits were previously reduced. This is mostly for teachers, firemen, police officers, federal employees who got a lower Social Security benefit while also because they were receiving a pension from work.
Yeah, market is still slightly down since that
March
announcement.
of 2025.
Not much.
The increased
Still
monthly
at new
benefits started in
highs,
April
but
2025.
from the
Maybe it was the
pre-market
big
high,
increase.
slightly
The president
down.
unwound it, though, right? And that's what I think might have happened. I think we have to look into that. Anyway, it's stuff like this. One-time stuff shows up in the in the data, and I don't think you panic over it
I think that's
necessarily.
exactly right. I think the spending side of things, the real economy side of things, those are sort of month-to-month fluctuations that aren't the real story. I think people were focused for a long time on inflation. We got CPI already that fed into this report. And our main takeaway, though, is most of what's going on with inflation for this print, for the last CPI print, is mostly a pre-tariff story. We still think there's plenty to come in terms of inflation from tariffs. If we look at the record, if we look at the data and what happened before, it takes 3, sometimes 4, and even 5 months for inflation to react to the tariffs. And so I think for everyone who breathed a sigh of relief, that was premature, saying, "Oh, we're past the worst of it." I think we haven't seen.
But
it.
Waller says to look through it, Seth. That there's this idea that hey, it's just a one-time
Even
increase
if it
in the
does
price
come,
level.
it's not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
It's not like a second derivative.
So our baseline view is that the inflationary effect will be temporary. I think Waller's
Transitory?
That's what Goolsbee used the word yesterday.
He did, I know.
I think there should be the official Federal Reserve thesaurus to come up with synonyms that aren't literally the word.
Don't say transitory.
But the key thing for Waller's perspective, and I think the theoretical underpinnings, is that you have to believe that inflation expectations and inflation psychology is well anchored. We've just lived through a few years of higher than normal inflation, and I'm not sure.
A little bit of bounce here.
Consumers, businesses are just going to go back to business as normal if we see another.
We were
pickup.
at 614 before this happened. We're at 614.80s and 80 cents. So like a little baby hit from right there, but overall pre-market is up. In fact, we're up 0.3%. If we were to open right here, still a new all-time high.
Companies to look for
Definitely a
any
new
excuse to
all-time
gouge.
high.
They might gouge the hell out of these tariffs. And you could, in her world, there's nothing to keep them from raising prices. If tariffs are 12%, raising them 30%.
I'm going to let Seth answer, but I'm just going to give one sentence, which is that all of this points to a really interesting question, which is how competitive is the U.S. economy?
This is getting
right? You can't
a little bit
gouge
boring.
if your competitor can.
Give it to me straight, chat. As my financial advisors, should I be bullish today or should I be bearish today? I know all of you have at least a master's, but most likely a PhD in some form of finance or economics or business strategy, something along those lines. So don't keep your secrets from me. You have all the information. I know you guys have the model that all the gurus and gurus teach you that guarantee you where the market is going at any given moment. You tell me your secrets or else. You are my financial advisors. Should I be buying or should I be selling? Tell me your secrets. What's in the box? I'm seeing some bullish. I'm seeing some bullish. I'm seeing bullarish. That feels like you're in the middle. Bullish, bad news is good news for Fed cuts. Bullish, buy. Bullish, rip it. Bearish pullback. Overall bullish market. My hole is getting lumpy and jagged. It was smooth. I don't know if that's necessarily trading related, but you might want to get that one checked out. You might want to get that one checked out. Hey, bro, watch this video. It's hilarious. Should we? How much should I be trusting this particular chatter that this video is hilarious? What is it? Am I getting rickrolled? Are you guys rickrolling me right now? Are you rickrolling me? Are you rickrolling me?
When
Are
the
you-
world has gone
I do know who this channel is. It's actually a really good channel. All right. I don't think I'm getting tricked. All right. I'll give him a chance. This is from Kamikaze Cash. Like I said, I know the channel. They make some really good content. Highly recommend you guys check them out. Wall Street Bets and Dankish Trades of Rocket Season. All right.
bonkers,
It better
you can always
be
count
good.
on Wall Street Bets traders to find ways to print racks or
It
light
better
their
be
money
good.
on fire. With no ado whatsoever, let's jump right into the mix. Boys and girl, it is my pleasure to present
Boys
the
and girl.
dankest trades of rocket season. Busting in the door first is a Cheeto fan by the name of Algoroth81.
All right.
Joining Reddit in early 2021, Algoroth began his Reddit experience by spit posting on Wall Street Bets and Dogecoin subs, but his posts were consistently removed for being worthless drivel. After spending February and March doom-scrolling the news and sharing personal insights, our guy finally pieced together some modest DD in March 2021. His evaluation of the real estate sector encouraged him to go long the companies formerly known as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. In 2006,
Really?
buying Fannie and Freddie would be a pretty normal investment, but these companies
Not
sold
now.
control of their firms to the US government in the 2008 global financial crisis, putting them under federal conservatorship. In other words, the companies have to give profits to the government instead of shareholders, with no prospect of this changing. But this minor inconvenience did nothing to dampen Algoroth's conviction. The big dog believed this conservatorship would soon end, and that the
Okay.
US government would give up control
That's
of
an
these
interesting
profitable
bet.
organizations, allowing shareholders to print that sweet real estate cheese once again. At the time of his posts, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac were trading at around 193 and 187 respectively, down about 99%.
I mean, this had to
since
work
2008.
well.
With 50K
We covered
on
this a
hand,
little bit.
our homie was able to scoop a fat stack of these companies, banking hard that the government would give the reins back to the board. Most Wall Street Bets users were confused, as our man failed to provide any discernible DD as
Please
to why
explain.
anything would change, with most believing the government would never give up control of one of the few ways it actually makes money. But Algoroth believed a pending Supreme Court decision would force the government's hand. Like a Mormon trying to spread the word, he made a barrage of posts that March, eagerly awaiting SCOTUS to rule on this issue in June. On April 23rd, as the fated day came closer, our man's position rose by almost 25%.
That's
and
impressive.
became worth about $80,000.
Hell yeah.
He was going into the Supreme Court locked and loaded with shares. When the big day came in
It's a
June,
creative
Fannie
trade.
and Freddie laid down savage facts to the justices, arguing the constant government control was whack. The justices largely agreed and ruled that the company structure was unconstitutional, but passed the buck to lower courts, leaving the companies in limbo. Over the next several months, the stock took L's, but Algoroth was unconvinced that the issue was resolved. Although he was in the red by late June, he continued to stack
40K?
shares relentlessly
Jesus.
for the next 4 years. After 4 trips around the sun, patiently building his ridiculous portfolio, Big Homie finally got some good news. In March 2024, former
What a
and future
play.
President Mango reiterated his stance that he wanted Fannie and
4
Freddie out
years.
of conservatorship, believing the government should sell its ownership
He had to
at a
wait
profit
out
to do
Biden.
unspecified activity with the gains. In light of this reiterated good news for shareholders, the stock blasted up about 10% that day, and Big Dog's positions were now worth almost $150,000. But this was just the beginning. Throughout 2024, Cheeto gained ground in the polls, while
Cheeto.
stale Wonder Bread Joe Biden's approval waned, and the junior varsity backup candidate Kamala Harris's momentum flashed and burned within a week. As the Big Orange's prospects of retaking the throne rose, so too did Fannie and Freddie's prospects of wiggling out of government control. When Papa Cheeto won the Big Cheese in November, gains were
Papa
all but
Cheeto.
assured. On January 6, 2025, Algoroth showed his monumental grit.
Holding
Fannie
for
Mae and
5
Freddie
years.
Mac went to the
Holy
moon as
shit.
crypto meme personified Elon Musk and shitcoin minter Donald Trump prepared to share the crown, and our man's positions weighed in at a whopping 500K. With inauguration
Damn.
just around the corner, both stocks surged continuously as
Wow.
investors hoped
What
Cheeto
a
would
trade.
tear up the conservatorship agreement and give control back to the shareholders. Our homie's portfolio was worth almost $700,000 by the big
Jesus.
day. Our man subscribes to hedgie Bill Ackman, who believes conservatorship will end before the close of 2026. As Algoroth hangs on with diamond hands, we may yet see him driving a Lambo on his yacht. Congratulations on the thick gains, my dude. Now, let's do the sponsored segment so I can get paid. In a promotion recently extended to July 31st, The broker Moomoo is doing the largest free share offer
Should
I
we
have
let the
ever
ad
seen.
play?
With qualifying
Well,
deposits,
while this ad's
new
playing,
users in the US
I don't want to just
can
straight up
unlock
steal
to
this
60
content.
free
It is
shares.
from
Sign up,
Kamikaze Cash.
make your
I'm a
deposit,
fan of the channel,
claim
as
your
you can
shares in the
see.
task center, and wait for the shares to
They
hit
make
your
some
account
good
after the
videos.
vesting
Actually,
window.
once in
Since
a while,
Moomoo offers
Kamikaze Cash
8.1%
is actually
APY
like
on
in
cash,
chat here, so
the trick to
definitely
working this
throw this
promotion
channel
is
subscribe
just to leave your position as
subscription if
cash
you
and
like
collect your
the
yield
Wall
while you
Street
wait for the
bets
shares
type of
to
stuff.
settle. Once they're delivered, you can do whatever you want.
It's a
However,
good channel.
I always
They have
recommend
really good
keeping
edits.
something in Moomoo because existing users can collect Moo points for completing
Moo
daily
points.
tasks.
I'd feel bad
The Moo
skipping
points
over
can
this
then be
ad, but
exchanged for
to be fair,
vouchers
I do
that
not like
return their
Moo
face
Moo. I
value
don't think
to your
anyone
cash
should be
balance when you buy
using it.
shares. I use Moomoo for the 3K challenge that I wish more people would
There are
watch.
definitely
and I've
better
been more than happy
brokerages.
with their service.
Definitely
just not
better
with my investing
brokerages.
decisions. Users outside the US will still get free shares, but the number
like
of shares will
the
be different.
Temu
So mind the
version
screen
of
to which you get
brokerages.
redirected.
Moo
This
Moo.
promotion runs until July 31st, but don't sleep on this. Use my referral so I can get paid and my children won't starve. Thank you to Moomoo for sponsoring, and now let's move on to dank trade number 2.
Better than
Cruising into
Moomoo
the
is
number
this
2
actual
spot is a
channel.
blasphemous individual and Rivian subreddit mod named user assholey than thou, who joined Reddit in late 2023. An apparent bag holder of shares of payment processor Bakkt Holdings, ticker BKKT. Our
Okay,
man
the
was
crypto.
evidently a reckless trader
That
who was
was
a great
involved
candidate
with,
for our favorite
Trump
sub right
and
out of the
DJT.
gate. As such, our homie was no stranger to swinging for the fences and believed that Rocket Labs, ticker RKLB, had a future as bright as Canis Major. On December 19th, 2023, while the broader market was green, our man was in the trenches, wondering why Rocket Labs was performing poorly. All indications pointed to literal rocket ships, but the stock continued to languish. He determined that the market
Wait, haven't you guys been pushing Rocket Lab on me? I feel like Rocket Lab isn't just in the world of Wall Street bets. I feel like you guys in here have been telling me about Rocket Lab.
was wrong about this stock and decided in February 2024 to freebase some long-term short puts
Freebase.
at the $4 strike, expiring in January 2026. He then determined to turn around and use that premium to buy calls expiring in 11 months. This combination of selling short puts and using the premium to buy long calls would provide a dual-acting synthetic long to boost his returns on the next rocket out. There was some immediate gain as
That's
Rocket
pretty
Lab gained some
degenerate.
ground. But by March 18th, the old bag holder was sweating like a pimp in church as Rocket Lab touched down at the $4
Sweating
mark
like
once
a
again.
pimp
His
in
fellow
church.
Rocket Labbers consoled his buyer's remorse, and by the end of the conversation, Big Homie doubled down by purchasing calls at the $4 and $5 strikes, expiring in January 2026. Throughout the summer, Rocket Lab released a slow intravenous drip of hopeful news, and the stock slowly trudged up the hill from $4 to $6, a mighty 50% climb despite the low raw numbers. Throughout the arduous march, Rocket Lab investors like Assholey shared the good word among each other, keeping sentiment bullish. In early autumn, this pace accelerated, with the stock doubling again from $6 to $12, all on strong fundamental growth rather than baseless EBIT. Indeed, this was a rare breed of stock. By mid-November, our man was up thickly on his position, but any plans of selling evaporated when CEO Sir
Beck.
Peter Beck appeared on CNBC describing the company's growth outlook. Since Sir Peter Beck is officially a knight, it would practically be verboten to sell. In fact, Sir Peter
Holy
invigorated
shit.
his shareholders with fresh stamina and scared short sellers out of their boots, pushing the stock to over $18, putting our homie at a 369% damn fine gain, and the gains
Wow.
just kept flowing. By New Year's
Is this why you guys
2025,
were trying
Rocket
to
Lab
pump
was
it?
cruising
You were
in at
following
close
this?
to $30. Shareholders feasted upon fine gourmet and Martian vintage. But for Assholey, this was not the time to celebrate and become complacent. It was the time to double down. On January 24th, 2025, our holy roller rolled his positions to finance 100 calls at the $40 strike for a total of $46,000. Expiring on June 20th, these calls were about 60% out of the money. Rocket Lab would need to pull some magic to rise to such a degree, but it had done so before, and Sir Peter had plenty of magic left in his bag. Come February, with earnings on the horizon, our guy was likely rubbing his hands together, looking for some more rocket fuel, but victory is often hard won. As As the days ticked by, the stock started showing red instead of green. Shareholders were taking gains. By February 27th, the value of his calls eroded 76%, leaving the big dog with a loss of about $35K. With most of his gains roasted in a bonfire of jet fuel, Assholi was distraught. As part of his grieving process, he determined to leave Rocket Lab behind and move on to greener pastures. It was time to perform new DD. Throughout February and March, President Cheeto made disparaging comments about international trade and threatened to annex Canada, Greenland, and Panama all at the same time, resulting in market jitters. But Assholi believed the continued drawdown in equities was overblown and that a reversal was imminent. On February 21st, the big man dropped 10 racks, a full $100,000 on in-the-money spy calls, banking on a move back up. But Cheeto doubled down his rhetoric on tariffs and warfare, sending stocks on a continued decline. Assholi remained resolute, even when down $55,000 the following week. The market was overshooting the bearish shift, and the bottom was right around the corner. Any dips in his portfolio
What was the
were just
expiration?
pathetic attempts of unspecified globalists to drive down prices. But our brochacho received no reprieve. In an act of desperation, known only to those who risk their well-being on speculative events, the unprecedented heathen tripled down with another 200 calls shortly thereafter for a total of 400 calls, costing $140,800.
Degenerate.
Yet as he stacked his calls, he was compounding regret. Since Wall Street Bets apes are used to YOLOing zero DTEs with the grace of a toddler in traffic, purchasing a 40-day option felt like a Roth IRA. But instead of the gentle glide up he envisioned, SPY face-planted further and Thanos snapped all $140,000 of premium, leaving our homie with nothing but a sad Pepe and existential dread. With his gains evaporated into ether, his lamentation was absolute, as he prescribed himself shifts shoveling grease at Wendy's until age 80. Consider pulling an extra shift behind the dumpster, big dog. And now, let's feast
That
our
was
eyes
just the
on
end?
the dankest trader of rockets.
He just got blown. I thought it was going to be like, no, and he rolled it, and then he was able to catch the pump in May all the way into June. It just ended like that. The guy just blew out. Oh my God, dude. That's so fucking gnarly. Holy shit.
Sailing into the hot seat is a crypto aficionado with deep pockets who goes by the name of Theosoph Oracle or Theosoph Oracle, something like that, who joined Reddit in May 2024. He started his Reddit career by commenting on a Bitcoin sub in late May, telling OP to think for himself in terms of his investment decisions and to not listen to random strangers on the internet. This is ironic in that on August 6th, he posted to Wall Street Bets a loss of $100,000, resulting from an unspecified poor options play made by following the advice of random strangers on Reddit. 2 days later, he shared that his loss widened to $150K, making his portfolio worth negative $50,000. The only way this is possible is if he had withdrawn money at some point and then somehow took an additional L. Indeed, this is an unusual interface situation. Nonetheless, his debt to Robinhood appeared resolved after some settling of his positions. But despite his recovered account standing, Theo the Oracle was knee-deep in losses. He spent much of the summer lamenting the six-figure decay in his portfolio. As normies spent their summer drinking margaritas and sniffing coke, our man sat quietly on the sidelines in despair. By late August, his state of reflection was finally complete. He resolved to flip his game and recover his losses, turning to subreddit Race to 10 Million for inspiration. Going into the end of the summer, it was time to reinstall Robinhood. On September 20th, 2024, our man bought one single long-term out-of-the-money call on MicroStrategy at the 170 strike, paying a $3,000 premium for it. Although the contract did not expire until April, MicroStrategy quickly rose the next week to well above the Oracle's strike. The call price shot up to $5,000, and within 5 trading days, our man gained $2,000. Fine start. But he then prophesized that achieving 80 more of these trades to get back to green overall would be impossible. He'd need to aim higher, much higher, to reach a worthwhile profit zone. And if he didn't want to get dunked on in the Race to 10 Million subreddit, he'd have to put up much bigger numbers. Our man in fact became sad, for his gains could not give him what he valued most, praise from his peers. So he did what he had to do, and bought multiple deep out-of-the-money MicroStrategy calls expiring in December and
when in doubt, just rip it.
Reclaim some green and some respect. And the big dog Papa Sailor had his back. In the later months of 2024, pro-crypto Chad Donald Trump gained ground in the polls, and MicroStrategy picked up a nice fat $1.1 billion stack of Bitcoin. Shareholders fawned at the massive 18,300 Bitcoin purchase that once again knocked a bunch of hopefuls out of the 21 million club. A week later, Theo posted his gains, showing a total return of almost $50,000 on his MicroStrategy calls and a $100,000 total gain for his portfolio in the last month. As the commoners say, if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell. But the Oracle scoffed at this lame dogma. The mad lad held on, as he had several months until expiration, during which time Saylor would probably acquire another 100,000 Bitcoin. Throughout October, MicroStrategy rode the wave higher, likely in light of Cheeto's candidacy looking like a sure victory for the self-proclaimed pro-crypto hotshot. Although Theo does not share his gains, we know that his calls continued pumping, bringing deep six-figure gains over the month. In fact, Mr. Oracle was so confident that he added some sauce by purchasing calls on MSTU, a 2x leveraged MicroStrategy ETF, which in itself is leveraging Bitcoin. To our man's delight, MicroStrategy came through bigly.
So savage.
During the first 3 weeks of October, MicroStrategy bulldozed from about $160 to $220 per share, a massive 37% climb. But there was more to be done. By October 29th, the stock cruised in at almost $260 as earnings leaks indicated plans to add even more Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Our man's MicroStrategy and MSTU calls went so deep in the money that you couldn't find them with a metal detector.
Shit.
The bombastic pump put our man up nearly $100,000 for the day, bringing his total portfolio to around $500,000. A fire burned in the Oracle's heart like a nuclear-powered e-cigarette. Avarice and covetousness took control as the starry-eyed traders started looking toward that 2 comma club. With Cheeto formally seizing rights to the crown in early November, the whole crypto community celebrated, and MicroStrategy shot up with it. On November 12th, our man proudly presented his cocktail of MicroStrategy equity and leaps, up a $250,000 gain that very day, bringing his total portfolio to more than 800 grand. And of course, if you're that close to $1 million as a card-carrying member of the race to 10 million sub and Wall Street Bets, there's no bailing out now. So our degenerate Oracle held on. His position, vulnerable to a mood swing in the crypto casino, forced him into insomnia. But with a hefty shot of NyQuil, he was able to rest. The roosters awoke him with a mighty crow, and the very next day, MicroStrategy burned another hole in the exosphere. Theo the Oracle crossed the coveted $1 million mark, but it was not enough. Crypto was in an unparalleled run, and bailing just because you got another comma was no good. There was simply no stopping this train. On November 20th, MicroStrategy surged again at the opening bell, and our Mad Lad's portfolio went up more than $500,000 on the week, bringing him to a jaw-dropping total of over $1.6 million. The hotshot Oracle had done it. With the assistance of strippers, the Oracle quickly achieved post-nut clarity before his next move, which consisted of Bacardi and jet skis to celebrate the thick cheddar. When his toppy could receive no more sloppy, our homie returned to Wall Street Bets for entertainment purposes and came across a MicroStrategy bear by the name of user Lures808, in which the gay bear professed that there's no such thing as a free money glitch, and he went long MicroStrategy puts. The Oracle gave a side-eye emoji and never looked back. To this day, he remains unseen at Wall Street Bets. No doubt, Oracle Daddy is now cruising the coasts of Brazil with big booty mamitas with a fistful of caipirinhas. Diosaf Oracle, you have truly lived up to your name.
Wait, so we don't know if he got out.
Massive run, and in doing so, have achieved wealth abundant.
I mean, regardless, the ride was crazy.
You never need to leave your life of luxury for as long as you shall live. Please accept the crown of kings. May you wear it well.
That's insane.
Who wants to be king?
Wow. That was a good video. Folks, show the creator a little bit of love right there. Kamikaze Cash. The title of that video was Wall Street Bets Dankest Trades of Rocket Season. Came out about 2 weeks ago. Like I said, check it out. Kamikaze Cash. I've seen a lot of these videos. It's fun just to see the insanity of what in the world is happening in Wall Street Bets. This one's 3K Challenge World War III is canceled. Episode 8. I mean, seemingly super anti-Semitic. Jesus Christ. What is going on in the internet these days, man? What, dude? The internet has no chill whatsoever. All right. We are still slightly red ever since that PCE report, but remember, just the odds of these PCE days of us opening above the close is very high, and as of right now, that is still seemingly holding true. I do have a couple things we should go over, and then if you guys want, we could come back to this very anti-Semitic fucking thumbnail. Jesus Christ, what is my job becoming? The PCE report came out this morning, slightly higher than expected. Personal spending dropping and personal income dropping in a noteworthy amount. So that's why things are red since 8:30, but relative to yesterday's close and relative to yesterday's high, we are bullish. If we were to open right now, we would be at new all-time highs. So I just want to clarify when I'm saying bullish and bearish, kind of like the time frames that we're on. Part of the reason why we are green in pre-market trading is exactly this. China confirms breakthrough on rare earth exports to the U.S. Announcement offers hope of a reprieve on shortages that have hit American industry, and comes after Trump said he signed a deal with China. So we had Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary. He was chit-chatting yesterday after the market closed, like literally 30 minutes after the market closed, and it got everyone pretty freaking jacked up. China confirms U.S. trade framework, vows to review exports. So here's Lutnick.
You, of course, just left the East Room where President Trump held this one big, beautiful event, celebrating a bill that has yet to pass the Senate or repass the House. And obviously the parliamentarian in the Senate has thrown up some hurdles today. Is the parliamentarian making this effort harder, making it harder to meet the president's deadline of July 4th?
I think reconciliation has a process, and we all respect the process. So I think they're just going through the way they do things in the Senate, and I think it's going to work out great for the president.
Secretary, it's good to see you. Welcome to Balance of Power once again. Your thoughts on some of the complications that we're hearing about beyond the parliamentarian. We've got the SALT caucus to satisfy. There are still questions about the level of cuts in the president's big, beautiful bill. Timeline is one thing. The final result is another here. When you consider what we just saw there in the East Room, what is there to celebrate today?
I think today was motivational. You know, what we're doing is we're getting everybody together and saying, let's go past this bill, right? There's lots of people, as the president said, there's lots of people who are grandstanders, a few people, they want to make their point. They want to get their moment in the sun, their big moment of fame. But in the end of the day, the Republican Party is behind Donald Trump. They're going to pass this bill. It'll be the largest tax cut in the history of the United States of America. Or imagine if they didn't pass it, it would be the largest tax increase. So who isn't going to back the largest tax cut in the history of America? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, really delivering on his promises. So I think we're all really excited about what's coming, and it's coming in the next week or two.
Well, when we consider who might not be super eager to vote on this package,
in the next
Mr.
week
Secretary,
or two,
the aforementioned SALT caucus that Joe was just referring to is still threatening basically not to support this measure. They found the first offer from the Treasury Department on some kind of compromise unsatisfactory. We understand there will be more meetings happening today, but are you, as a New Yorker, going to have to get involved in this as well? You know how close to home this issue is for those members.
Sure, but what's going to happen is these members and the senators, they're talking, they're pounding it out, they're working it out, and I am confident they're going to reach a
the
consensus,
senators, they're just pounding it out.
Pass. Look,
you guys know how it is.
Fought. It's one big, beautiful bill, which means the key word is big. It covers all of the things that the president promised.
No tax on billionaires. I fully agree. I think we should tax poor people more.
Positive, and we're feeling optimistic. And sure, is it a lot of work? Oh my gosh, it's a lot of work. Speaker Johnson and Senator Thune are doing a great job, and I think you're going to see this pass. It's hard work, but it's coming our way.
Secretary, I'm really interested in exploring the relationship between the tax bill and tariffs. If you can maybe take us by the hand here. Does the tax bill only work when you have the revenue coming from tariffs? And we're, of course, having this conversation
That's a fair
as
question.
we walk ever closer to July 9th, the deadline here for the reciprocals. If the bill alters anymore, does the tariff program need to change with it?
Not at all. The tariff program is in the power of the presidency, right? Congress has given the president the power to work on these tariffs and to set these tariffs. So that's presidential power. So what's really interesting is this big, beautiful bill does not count the $88 billion of tariff revenue we've received, and now we're earning up to $30 billion.
$88 billion is pretty small relative to another $1.5 trillion in deficit.
That number is only going to go higher. We're going to announce a whole bunch of deals
Like,
over
it's
the
actually
next week or
pretty
so,
freaking
and
small
then we're
on a
just gonna
relative
send letters
basis.
out to everybody who's responded to us, put them in the right category, and off we'll go. So there's going to be
Market's still bleeding a little bit
month,
from the
and
high.
it's not included in the bill. So when they talk about the deficit, when they're talking about the bill, they're only talking about the things that that bill touches. The extra $400 or $500 billion a year that the tariffs bring in, the new tariffs bring in, that just doesn't count for the bill. But of course, that cash counts for America.
That cash
Mr. Secretary, you
counts
just
for
said that you're
America.
going to announce a whole bunch of deals over the course of the next week. With what countries? And does that include the China deal the president suggested was signed yesterday? What is that?
So the China deal, we inked the deal. You remember we had a trip to
You
Geneva,
made me ink.
and then that was being slow played. We got back together in London, and that deal was signed and sealed 2 days ago. President just said it just the other, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. And then he also suggested that we are, of course, at the very close finish line with India. Of course, the way these deals happen is their prime minister
Close on
and their
India.
parliament have to approve it,
Interesting.
and the president likes to close these deals himself. I mean, he's the deal maker. He loves to close it. I think we have deal after deal after deal. The president's going to make his calls. He's going to decide exactly the finishing touches on them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay out a structure of all the different kinds of tariff arrangements.
So we might be
with
hearing
different
about
countries,
India
right? There are countries
next
with
week,
huge deficits,
which
There are
would be
countries
pretty
that are
impressive,
balanced. We're gonna
actually.
set that all up and get that ready for July 9th.
So it sounds to me, Secretary, and correct me if I'm wrong, as I listen to you, that we either get 88 deals announced in the next 2 weeks.
This guy dresses
or
like
there's
a
going to be
mortician.
action one way or the other by this administration that July 9th will be conclusive. If there's no deal, here's the new reciprocal tariff. Is that right?
Of course. So what we're going to do is we'll announce some deals, but basically the deals we're going to announce are sort of the head of the class, the structural spot in the line,
So,
and then all the other countries.
India,
will fit
if I had to guess,
behind
Japan's
those
probably
categories,
pretty
right?
close
So we're
as
gonna do
well.
top 10
There's been
deals,
some
put
murmurs
them
on
in the
that
right
one.
category, and then these other countries will fit behind. So you'll have South American deals, and you'll have African deals. You'll have it all structured and set up, and that's the model how you do leadership, and we will put these people in their proper buckets on July 9th. So those who have deals will have deals, and everybody else who's been negotiating with us, they'll get a response from us, and then they'll go into that package, and July 9th will go forward. And as the president
July
said, if people want to
9th.
come back and negotiate further, they're entitled to, but that tariff rate will be set, and off we'll go.
Where does Europe fall in that sequence, Mr. Secretary? There was reporting from Politico today that the European Commission has received a latest offer from the U.S. Are you expecting that offer to potentially be accepted by next week?
I think that Europe has done an excellent job. They're working hard.
Feels like the EU bloc has been having bigger issues than everyone else.
And the president put out a truth, kind of motivated him with that truth, as Donald Trump is capable of doing. They came to the table then. They started negotiating. They really put it on the table. And I've become optimistic. I think if you had asked me 3 weeks ago before that truth, I would have said no way. But since that truth by the president, I really feel I'm optimistic. I think we could get a deal done now. Europe will be right at the end. But you got to remember, they're our largest trading partner. So the fact that they come at the very end makes some sense. It's deep. It's complex. But I'm kind of optimistic now. I wasn't optimistic 3 weeks ago. But now, since the president got involved, I'm pretty optimistic, actually.
How about that? Fascinating. Secretary, before you leave us, I just went to trumpcard.gov. It says Trump card is coming. It's still on the way. When does this happen? How many will
that's
you
for
sell
whatever
when this is finally
citizenship.
available? You've been saying that the phone's ringing off the hook here. Where are they coming from?
All right, our waiting list, right? And we've got a sort of a filtered waiting list where we go in and make sure the emails are correct, the people are correct. 75,000 people online at $5 million each, right? We're talking just under $400 billion with the people online waiting for it to go live. So obviously our focus is the big beautiful bill, and once the big beautiful bill comes, off we're going to go with the Trump card. And I am really, really excited for our objectives. That has two things. Both, it'll bring in hundreds of billions of dollars to reduce the deficit of the United States of America, and it brings in great entrepreneurs into America, and they'll build our economy as well. So you get a double positive from the Trump card.
A double positive from the Trump card. All right, so that was part of the reason why things picked up last night, but also there are other influences within the options market and just pure excitement for new all-time highs. So just to wrap this portion of it up, China confirms details of U.S. trade deal. China will review and approve export applications for items subject to export control rules. The U.S. will cancel a range of existing restrictive measures imposed against Beijing. The statement comes after U.S. President Donald Trump said that we just signed with China yesterday. So with respect to trade deals, we're getting a little bit more, of a solidified detail set for China. We are expecting here from India this upcoming week. That's what Lutnick was just talking about. Maybe my visions of grandeur, maybe Japan. And also, according to Lutnick, it sounds like the European trading bloc, the EU trading bloc, is going to take a bit more time, but we are ideally getting some major updates between now and July 9th. So definitely mark that in your calendar or your brain or whatever. But from now to July 9th, expect news related to trade deals. Iran dismisses U.S. claim of nuclear talks resuming next week. So obviously this could be a very important narrative, obviously following the daily chart. We know that this rockiness in here between Wednesday, June 11th, really this dip, this week and a half dip, it had a lot to do with Israel, Iran. And then when it seemingly got all kind of fixed of like, okay, whatever, some symbolic attacks after real attacks and everyone's getting super, super confused of what the fuck is happening. Everything seemingly calmed down, hence market popping to pretty much new all-time highs. Well, maybe taking a small step backwards. So just want to throw this out there. Maybe, I hope it doesn't become a thing, but I just don't want anyone to be taken off guard. Now, drilling down more recently, if you're just joining in right now, first of all, massive demerit. You were supposed to be here at 8:20 this morning. If you're now showing up at 9:15, you're late. You're late to class. You're being rude. I expect you to apologize to everyone individually in chat because you're coming in class, the door's closed, and I'm the professor. I'm already talking, and it's just honestly a little bit rude. It's a little bit rude. So I'm happy that you're here, but you should apologize to everyone individually. Anyway, what you did miss was a pretty cool video from Kamikaze Cash. But on top of that, we got some inflation reports coming in slightly higher than expected. I know that this colors it as green, and that might make you think that it's a good thing, but it's not such a good thing, especially when you consider that personal spending is slightly down and personal income is down like kind of to a noteworthy degree. That's exactly why starting at 8:30 when we got that announcement, the market's been down since then. Now, to be fair, we're still up in pre-market trading, but right here at 8:30, why have we been down pretty much for an hour straight now? 50-minute, the better part of an hour straight? Well, it's because the reports we got were not so good. Now, I do want to be clear, just because we're trending down right now, just because the reports weren't so good, does that mean today's going to be a bearish day? God, no. I mean, literally go back to yesterday. Look at how things played out yesterday. We got these reports at 8:30, not so good, trending down. And then around 9:50, we kind of got this double bottom, and then we popped from there. So don't get caught into that classic thing of recency bias and just because like whatever the last bar was, assuming that that has to persist forward. I also want to point out, where's that guy? I forget the guy's name, but he was in here on Monday screaming at me that we have to be bearish and how could you not be bearish? Bro, I would say at the end of the day, I was right here on Monday. We had people screaming that you have to be bearish and it's insane that I'm not bearish and blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about, folks? Look at this mark. Do you not see 1, 2, 3, 4 green days in a row at a new all-time high? And people are trying to chirp me that you have to be bearish right now? What the fuck are you being bearish about? Not Tim. Tim was yesterday. Tim is just a socialist asshole. Was it on Wednesday? No, what's today? Friday? Was it on Wednesday? On Wednesday to be bearish? Why would you be bearish? Literally going to new all-time. Like, it makes no sense. Green, 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 green. We have 4 green days in a row. We're battling it out at literal new all-time highs. And this idea of, like, telling people to be bearish, that's just actually quantifiably stupid. Quantifiably stupid. So, yeah. Ha, ha, ha. Right there. That's what I would like to say. But to Tim, I would like to say, where's my money? If you guys see Tim in chat, is Tim actually in chat right now? Has he woken up yet? Nope, Tim's not in chat. He's hiding from me. Too bad he doesn't know that interest, 10% interest per day. Tim doesn't know that yet, but we're coming for his kneecaps pretty soon here. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It's 100% free. It has always been free, always will be free. It comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. Just a little newsletter of what's going on in the market, all the major upcoming earnings, all the major upcoming market events, and then most useful is the seasonality per day. I covered this yesterday, but today's seasonality, Friday, June the 27th, the Bulls win it more often, but recently the Bears have won it with some size. So it's pretty much neutral, as in, I'm not saying to expect today to be a choppy day. Granted, it very well might be a choppy day. What I'm saying is that I'm not really taking seasonality into account, but I do want to remind you, by the time we get to next week, the next 3 weeks in a row, from a seasonality standpoint, the Bulls are in control. Maybe you want to throw on a bearish position, but I just want to let you go. If you do that in the next 3 weeks, you are in fact fighting seasonality. So just want to let everyone know about that. And now bringing it back to today, it's not just a Friday, it is a payday Friday. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, you'll find the link here. We are doing a payday Friday. We're giving away $150 of cold hard cash and 3 different option prop accounts from Vanquish. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Actually, wait, no. This is the wrong one. This is the old one. This is the new one. I was going to say I saw 25% off. It's better now. It's 35% off and a free reset. So make sure you are checking that out. The way I do sim to funded trading with futures, I know more people in here are more interested in option trading. So right here, I'm trading all these futures accounts. If you want to do sim to funded trading with options, because options are a more popular product to trade, check out Vanquish. In the game of sim to funded specific to options, Vanquish is the best one. And they just rolled out advanced options. So if you want to do more complex strategies such as credit spreads, debit spreads, iron condors, whatever it is, whatever tickles your fancy, you can now do that on Vanquish. They just rolled that out on top of the fact that they have an entirely new platform. So they were getting quite a bit of feedback that the last platform was just not really beloved by a lot of people. So brand new platform, and you could trade advanced option strategies. You're no longer confined to just buying calls or just buying puts. Of course, you can still do that if that's what you want to do, but make sure you're checking it out. We are giving away 3 of their prop accounts today. And also, if you use that code Goonie, you can save 35%, but on top of it, you get a free reset if you don't pass the test on your first attempt. So it's an even better deal than that. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. They are the partner of today's Payday Friday giveaway. So show them a little bit of love. And hey, I actually think this is pretty cool in itself. So like I said, if you're like, hey, I like what you're doing with sim to funded, but futures, I get it. Maybe it's not exactly your thing. Maybe you want to trade with someone else's money, but in the world of options, that's exactly where Vanquish comes in. So check those guys out. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of this. I'm just trying to get it cleaned up for the day. All right, let's get to the 1 minute here. 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 What do you guys want to watch out of the gate? What do you guys want to watch? Actually, before we get to what you do or don't want to watch, we have more time than I expected. Sorry, I was off by 10 minutes. So this is your perfect time for a little Q&A. Do you have any questions about sim to funded trading with Apex, with Take Profit Trader? On the option side, do you have any questions with Vanquish? Do you have any questions on Spot Gamma? Do you want me to do a chart breakdown? Do you want me to do an options breakdown? Do you want me to define any terms? Do you want me to give you my trading plan for the day? Folks, what do you want? I'm seeing some people talking about Tesla and a golden cross. Tesla and a golden cross. Tesla. So a golden cross, it's just one EMA crossing another EMA. And maybe it happened because of, I mean, generally it's larger time frames. A lot of times people use the 50 and the 200, that type of a deal. Sometimes you could use simple. Sometimes you could use the EMA. I personally use the EMA. But what I'm seeing here on Tesla is classic consolidation. I mean, I don't know another way to not see exactly that, but on the daily chart on Tesla, you have lower highs and you have higher lows, and it's in the middle of its EMA. I really like the news on over the weekend, technically on Sunday the 22nd, about the Robotaxi network getting launched in Austin, Texas. Unfortunately, as early as Tuesday, you got the regulators involved, and there were some videos circulating of like sporadic braking, the vehicle in the wrong lane, and like that type of shit. And that's exactly why we got the pump from the announcement. And then 2 days later, you had some profit taking. I posted a video 2 days ago explaining why Tesla's falling, and it continued slightly down yesterday because they ended up firing the lead of manufacturing. And that also happened to be like Musk's, like it was like his aide, his confidant. So people are just kind of saying like, what the fuck is going on in Tesla right now? So technically, is this a breakdown? No, we're still holding the EMA cloud. We haven't taken out these recent lows, but basically the Robotaxi announcement excitement got quickly faded. Right now, I do have a bullish play on Tesla, but it's not really like, well, first of all, I'm invested in Tesla in the long term, but in terms of a short-term trade, I have sold puts, which is a neutral to bullish play. And basically, I'm just betting that Tesla holds this support, and ideally, I'd be looking for this break in the push out of the trend line. So I don't really quite see an active play on it yet today. Things could change if it takes out yesterday's high at 331. And not only would we want to see that price action of taking out the previous high, once again, just above 331, but we would also want to see bullishness in the options market. I'd want to see calls being purchased and puts being sold. So I want to see that double item, the double bullishness of a technical breakout of the previous high, but also I want to see it being supportive in the derivatives market. So that's what I'd be looking for to get in the short term pretty excited about Tesla. But overall, the current structure is bullish neutral. So bullish because we popped up, but that's your flagpole, and now we're just flagging lower highs, higher lows. So bullish push into a bit of consolidation, and now it's just like a bit of a patience play. So cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Tesla. I've been watching Tesla. That one, maybe if it picks up today, could see some opportunity. I'm looking right now. I mean, I've been calling this out for days. I'm looking for Meta to battle it out at 730. It was actually there earlier today, and I want to see that follow through to the all-time high at 741. Netflix hitting an all-time high yesterday, gapping up to a new all-time high. Palantir hitting an all-time high yesterday, and ideally getting some follow through and hitting another one today, but it would have to take out 148. I should probably actually mark that out so we don't miss it. Coin, this is the play recently that I missed, unfortunately. Just ripping. Literally, as of Wednesday, June 18th, last week it was trading at 250. We're now trading at 370. It gained $120 in a week and a half. That is absolutely insane. I missed it, but for all of you who caught it, massive congrats to you. We went over Tesla. NVIDIA, a new all-time high. This is an open range breakout. You have to use a basic trend following. You could use fib extension, but overall, higher highs, higher lows, bullish momentum, strong options market. You just ride the trend as long as it's intact. Same thing in Avago, new all-time high. It's another semiconductor play. It's the 8th largest company in the world, while NVIDIA is the number 1. So both are looking really, really good right now. Microsoft hit a new all-time high yesterday, getting smacked a little bit in pre-market. Obviously, there's going to be a psychology issue at 500 here, but Microsoft, the world's number 2 company, looking really strong. Higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, strong options market. That's the general theme right here. It really is that a lot of things are already a runaway train, which is why it actually Tesla becomes an interesting play, because if it can fucking pick up and actually get going, this is one of the few major tech plays that isn't already that runaway train situation where you're taking on too much risk. So that's why I'm like kind of watching this one, but you have to be patient enough to wait for this setup. You really do. But yesterday, tons of bullishness in the market. You saw the options market just go absolutely haywire. In terms of the big buyers right here, the cumulative tick up and up and up. This is a measure of big institutional buying. The fact that this teal line just kept grinding up throughout the day shows quite a bit of serious buying. And then obviously just with the overall market ripping, I mean, it's hard to, and that's why I'm like a little bit surprised when people are trying to say to be bearish. Like, what are you looking at that or you are possibly bearish? Price structure is bullish, higher highs and higher lows. Price momentum is bullish. We're on top of all the EMAs. Options flow is bullish. People are buying calls and selling puts. Like, I don't see like one measurable thing of why I would possibly be bearish right now. And yet people are throwing money just like hoping hoping that it like kind of works out. And I just like, I mean, I guess if you're bearish in here, I'd love to have a conversation. I would love to know what you're looking at. But the common thing I hear is like, well, we're just at new highs. It's like, well, have you ever done any research on how the market reacts when we get to new highs? The stats actually suggest that new highs beget new highs. Like the odds are better for a follow through rather than a rejection. I just don't quite get it. And I mean, we saw that, I guess someone corrected me that it was on Wednesday, someone was telling us to be bearish. I just don't see it. And in fact, the $50,000 that I locked in yesterday, which suggests that in fact being on the bullish side was the right side. Oklo, some people are commenting Oklo. I do not have a position on Oklo, just to clarify. A pump, a pullback, a higher low. If you're playing the bounce off of this, obviously your risk is either 52 or it's 45. The trend is bullish. Like I said, higher highs, higher lows. I like the momentum right now. It's on top of the EMAs. I'm not really too familiar with their current setup in the options market, but Oklo, it's looking good. I mean, it's just more of, are you accepting of risk at $52, which is about $7 away, or is your target the new all-time high? Because if it is, that's about 14. So you have 2-to-1 reward to risk. I mean, I like it. I mean, I prefer it with a little bit less risk. But the final thing I would use for confirmation on this one is maybe a trend line breakout or doing a deep dive into the options market. But if this gets going today above 61, yeah, you're a little bit farther away from your risk, but then you have confirmation of the trend line break. You could use the low, the breakout bar, or you could use this recent swing low, but it's all about you and keeping your, risking control. But overall, the trend clearly bullish. Higher highs, higher lows, bullish momentum on top of the EMAs. Like I would definitely look at this and think, oh, clearly bullish. Oko looks like it's starting the stage 4 downtrend part of the market cycle. What the fuck is a stage 4 downtrend? And more importantly than that, why are you just making up random shit? Folks, this is a stage 18 bullish neutral, like setup accumulation. Like stage 4. What the fuck is stage 4, dude? This is a stage 4 downtrend. No, if you believe that, you are literally fighting against the current momentum. I have no clue where this stock is going, but if you think this is bearish, literally we're making higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs and higher lows by definition is bullish. Maybe it breaks down here, but you're literally shooting from the hip, assuming that this is now like at this point going to change trend. And if you really are so egotistical to think that you're the person who can predict when trend is about to change, you're not going to have a successful time trading. You're not going to have a successful time trading. Can you do a small dive into your swing system? Yeah, it's a bot system that I created a couple of years ago, and I keep iterating on it to try to improve it. And when the bot tells me to go long, if I'm being disciplined, I follow it. When it tells me to get out, I try to be disciplined and I follow it. But the issue there is sometimes my discipline to follow the system. But basically, I don't know. It's just a trend following system. So that is the swing system. It's meant to try to take advantage of larger trends and ride the trend and ride the trend and ride the trend. Let's get the SPX levels for the day. Where are they? Right here. All right. So on the screen, the green line, the red line, and the white line are yesterday's. Here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Green, red, and white are yesterday's high, low, and close. The green dash line is new. That's the all-time high. As of right now, we are scheduled to open above it by about 10 points. We're scheduled to open around all the way up here. So yeah, there might be a quick little downside gap fill to hit the high, to hit the all-time high as well. So my cursor is roughly at where we're going to open. The white box is the transition zone from a 0 DTE perspective. This is where the market makers are kind of in flux from a gamma and a delta perspective. So expect choppy price action. Obviously bullish above, bearish below. And then the final thing are these yellow horizontal lines, which are the major open interest levels of the day. And generally I'm getting these levels from spot gamma to see where the big players are. This is the gamma influence. You could see the net OI, and basically you could see where people sold calls. You could see where they're long calls, selling puts, long puts, that type of a deal. Obviously this is negative gamma. That's red. The purple is positive gamma. Negative gamma is more slippery price action, while the purple, the positive gamma, is more sticky price action. It's not necessarily bullish or bearish. Obviously it can be, but that's not necessarily a given. So Here are the key levels of the day, in my humble opinion. Feel free to screenshot these. Feel free to write them down. Feel free to use them, to not use them. I really don't care. It's what I'm using. If you find that they're helpful, hey, use them as much as you want. But these are where early this morning we're seeing major players, whether they're buying or selling. This is just where major open interest levels are at. So obviously, because of the rise of option trading, I would say that they are very important to pay attention to. And on that particular note, dingity, ding, ding, ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly. And if not, have fun. All right, we are opening up, and officially at this opening value, we are now at a new all-time high. So congrats to everyone who played it. This is a brand new all-time high. You folks right now, you are living history. You are living it. You are doing it. This is a new all-time high. Record levels, folks. Record levels. And actually, based on that, how are my accounts looking this morning? Like I said, I decided to scale out a bit of my position. I locked in about $50,000 in profits yesterday and waiting for these to update today. I'm in Meta. I'm in Netflix. I'm in Palantir. I'm in a new position on the NASDAQ, a new position on the S&P 500. And then the one that's kind of screwing me up right now is Tesla. I need Tesla to stop fucking vomiting. I mean, the market's pushing to new highs and Tesla can just like not find its footing. I have to admit, it is pretty freaking frustrating. You know, while we're waiting for the market to open, of course, as we get more data, I'll show you the options flow. But I do want to show you an interesting tool here. All right, let's look at Tesla. Let's just go down the list, and I understand the key levels. So where's Tesla currently at? Tesla is currently at 321. 321. There's big support at 320 and at 315. So hopefully Tesla can find some support here. This is some positive gamma. This positive gamma actually might be leaving today. So hopefully it finds its footing soon and it can bounce back up to either 330 or 345. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is trading at 156, made a new all-time high. There is quite a bit of resistance at 155, but it's seemingly trying to take it out right now. So this big positive gamma node, like I said, more of a black hole. If it can break, then you're going to be watching 158. That would be the next level. All right, up next we have Palantir, not looking the best today. Actually, maybe a little bit of a breakdown right there, trading at 142. Palantir does have support at 143, but the fact that we've broken that, that's not so good. Not so good, actually, whatsoever. It might be getting pushed down this gamma hill right here. So pay attention to that. This might be a real, true technical reversal on it. Of course, if it can get back above 143, that's a completely different story. Microsoft hitting new highs. Apple been lethargic, not doing anything. Netflix, new all-time highs, closed at 315 last close, 320, and then maybe 335. Here's a note at 1,320, and then the negative note I see is 1,330. Netflix actually getting a little bit smacked this morning at this. Well, we're right back to this support level. Right back to this major gamma area at 1,305. Interesting. Is that 1,306? Huh. All right. MSTR. Obviously, the key level there is 390. I think that's a pretty well-known given. Meta. The big test is 735, and then from there, 740. Big positive, big negative. So let's see how META reacts to that. 735 by 740. Huge positive gamma, huge negative gamma. That's going to be the real battle. That's going to be the massive battle for Meta. All right. And then Avago, obviously 270 is the major thing. And then for AMD, 142 would be the major options level. So we could obviously come back to all this. I just wanted at market open. I know people are making decisions today, especially because we're at new highs. I just wanted to give you some of those key levels, especially for some of the most popular tickers in here. All right, let's reload this just to see the options flow out of the gate. Remember, I don't put that much emphasis on it as of right now because we're only 4 minutes into the day, but we sold off seemingly basing 3 minutes into it and now getting a little bit of a pop. And then that was for the S&P 500. With respect to the Mag 7, we are well, pretty much the same thing. Flat and then a little bit of a pop about 3 minutes into it. So fucking Palantir's getting hit today. That's a rarity. Usually Palantir's a strong one. Tesla's getting hit too. Dude, Tesla can just not catch a fucking break this week. It cannot catch a break this week. It's just costing me some dinero, dude. It is costing me some dinero. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Anybody a Costco member? If so, do they always have gold and silver to buy on hand, or is that just limited? Is that even, like, how does that relate to what the fuck's going on here, dude? Why is Tesla down? Because willing buyers and sellers are agreeing on a lower and lower price. As to why they're agreeing on a lower and lower price, your guess is as good as mine. But every single time we see a one tick movement, that's because a willing buyer and a willing seller both agreed on a lower price. They agreed on a transaction either at a lower value, the same value, or a higher value. So from market open until the first 2 minutes, willing buyers and willing sellers were coming to an agreement, thus creating a transaction at a lower and lower price. At first, they were agreeing at 324, and then before you know it, they're agreeing at 320. On Palantir, at one point, they were agreeing on 145. They're now agreeing on 139. That's why, like, as to why they're doing it, I don't know. There was probably thousands and thousands of traders already today. So you're going to have to ask them, why did they agree to buy? Why did they agree to sell? Why did they not look for a higher price or a lower price? I don't know. Ask them. I'm not their mom. Remember, retail trading does not matter in the grand scheme of things. If you're thinking about the market in a retail trading perspective, you are light years behind. Absolute light years behind, because retail just doesn't fucking matter. On a relative basis, it's smaller than a drop in the bucket. The money that moves the market is big, massive money. Retail traders, what you read on whatever, X, or if you're seeing it on Instagram, or if you're watching a dude stream, folks, we could put all of our money together in one directional play and we would still have no influence. Like, it's just we're cumulatively way too small. And then on an individual level, we're extraordinarily small. We just don't influence the market. Like, from a very technical perspective, we do. Of course, any buying and selling does have an influence. The influence just happens to be microscopic and just, like, does not matter. How do you define the difference between transactions or the bots? Or do bots just react to news? What do you mean? Bots are auto trading, as in they're still doing transactions. It's just instead of a human hitting buy or sell, it's a robotic system saying to buy or sell, but it still prompts a transaction. I don't get the question. How do you define the difference between transactions or the bots? It's just the bot is just one side of the, or maybe actually most likely it's both sides of the transactions, two different bots. Right now in the overall market, bot trading is about 70 to 75% of all trading. So, like, if you look at a random transaction, there's a better chance than not that it was prompted by a bot and the other side of the trade was most likely taken by a bot. 70, 75% of all trades throughout any given day is bot trading, not a human. Which, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people think that it's just other humans hitting buying and selling, but that's just not what the market is right now. Is there any kind of instrument similar to covered calls, but for physical assets? Yeah, covered calls. There are still markets where you could sell covered calls against. Covered call just means you own the underlying thing that you're selling calls against. So it doesn't really matter that it's a physical asset. Like on the futures market, if you own the physical asset, you could still technically sell calls against it. I don't know why you would do that though. When the market, the trading market, like the non-physical market, is just so much faster and so much more liquid. Costco, look at the big balls on this guy. Who has big balls? All right, up $3, calling it a day. Dude, congrats. That $3, I hope you spend it at your local taqueria tonight. All right, we are cruising. We are making some new highs. So the 5 minute, I am looking for this momentum to recover. It's battling it out right now. Same with the 10 minute, 30 minute, and 4 hour have actually remained bullish this entire time. So the medium time frame, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, the shorter time frame stuff is attempting to push bullish right now. Same thing on the Nasdaq. 5 minute and 10 minute are attempting to save themselves from this 8:30 not so good inflation report. It wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't bullish. I'm just trying to mark out some of these highs and lows. 30 minute and 4 hour remain bullish that entire time. So basically just seeing if in the short time frame, if the 5 minute and the 10 minute can truly recapture these EMA clouds. That's what I'm personally looking for. And then we have this, the 1 minute chart. My next upside target would be 6170, and my next downside support would be basically 146, 147. So support right here, resistance right here, momentum favoring the bulls. That is $3 more than Tim paid up on his bet. Yeah, how disgusting. Is there anyone worse in the world than people that make bets and then don't pay? Like, well, I guess socialists, but you get the point. You get the point. I am attempting to not trade until past 10 a.m. today. I've noticed that I've had a lot of weakness in my day trading this week due to executing trades far too early. Generally, I was on the right side of the trend, but I would end up getting chopped up by just literally executing way too early. So I'm attempting to be calm, cool, collected, and waiting for that perfect opportunity. Thus far, the Mag 7 is slightly trending up in the Delta flow, and thus far, the SPY is also. Now, granted, since 940, we're taking a bit of a pullback, but the overall trend, if you were to do a little bit of a slope, a line, a linear regression, the trend is up on the S&P 500. The trend is up on the Mag 7. Price is trending up. Price is trending up. Tesla makes me want to fucking cry. Palantir makes me want to cry. Netflix is battling it back out at 1,310. Meta, this is a key battle right here. Actually, both Meta and Netflix are at key open interest levels, key gamma levels. So if Netflix can get above and hold above 1,310, then we're talking 1,330. If Meta can get above and hold above 730, then we're talking 740. So actually, interesting battle right now. These two are at very clear battles. Nvidia is at a new all-time high. I'm seeing a little bit more red than I would like. Definitely seeing a little bit more red than I would like, especially given the fact that the SPY and the Qs are both up 0.3% on the day. Where's all the green? Where's all the green that I was promised? Where is all the green? Coin's taking a bit of a breather after an absolutely disgusting rip. Does seem like SPX is going up to my next target. Would not mind if we rip up to that, have a bit of a pullback, base, and then break and rip all the way up to 6,200. Will this trading plan work? I have no idea. I'm just telling you, this would be an A-plus scenario. We rip up to it, maybe somewhere between 170, 175. We get a bit of a rejection, a pullback. We base, we put in a higher low, and then playing the breakout with minimal risk up to the next major level. I don't have a crystal ball that tells me this is how it's going to play out. I'm just letting you know, if we start to see this situation actually play out, that would be a very nice one, a very easy play. This would be an A++ setup in this particular scenario. The one thing I do want to let you know about, though, is at 10 a.m., we are getting the consumer sentiment report, or confidence. I don't know. One of the consumer reports, confidence, sentiment, one of those. So that's coming out in about 17 minutes. So you might, as a day trader, as a scalp trader, you might want to consider the fact that we're going to have a little bit of craziness, a little bit of hecticness right at 10 a.m. So I'm personally attempting to wait for that. I'm also just trying to wait because, like, the opening auction is generally a little bit crazy. So I feel like I've just been getting chopped up in it lately. So why piss away more money when I could just wait and wait and wait? I heard Tim is trying to set up a GoFundMe account to pay off his debt, making them around being the victim online bullying or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Classic socialist asking for other people's money. I mean, in this day and age, how could anyone be a socialist? Like, how could a single person truly argue that the best economy we could come up with is socialism? Like, Have they not read a history book? Have they not done a Google search? I just don't understand. I truly do not understand. With the ease of access that we have to modern theory and historic precedents, how do we have a single fucking person ever arguing for socialism, ever arguing for communism? There is a total of 0 instances in which it has worked. Is capitalism perfect? No. Is it the best model we currently have? Without a doubt. And guess what, folks? We've tried socialism. We've tried communism. And it's only happened to, I don't know, kill, 50 to 80 million people, depending on how you count the numbers? I just don't understand. Matt, will Circle break 200 and go to $100? What does the 8-ball say? How could it break 200 and go, oh, wait, it's on top? Circle, I mean, it just made its public debut. I tend to not touch things that are fresh. Like inherently, I want to trade off of data. And when something just started trading, by definition, it has the least amount of data possible. So I'll watch it because you guys are interested in it. But I just tend to not touch it. I blame teachers who have 0 experience outside of a classroom. There's a reason why they say those who can do and those who can't teach. It's sad that we have that, because I've actually had really, really good teachers that I think were pivotal in whatever my mental framework of life. It's just so upsetting that we have very shitty teachers that end up kind of demeaning the work of quality teachers and people who are there for good reasons. Yes, we've all had those teachers who are there for the easy paycheck. They clock in and they clock out. And it's sad because they kind of, in a way, belittle the name of being a teacher for the teachers who are truly passionate about it and are really, really into it and actually give a shit about improving the life of their students and truly teaching them something. So it's just so sad that we unfortunately, there's so many bad teachers that they end up, the good teachers get grouped in with them because obviously they're all teachers. Like I said, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. Famous words of Maggie Thatcher: socialism works until you run out of other people's money. It is crazy. It is. That's true. That's why teaching in colleges these days, all the professors, Marxist, socialist, tenured professors. No, well, not all of them. You can't say that. That's an absurd statement. I don't like when people speak in absolutes because if you're speaking in absolutes, there's a good chance that you're attacking the market in such an absolutist mindset. And the market is nothing but a giant gray area where you always have to consider the fact of these edge cases. So, I mean, whatever. You can think however you want, but obviously not every single professor is a Marxist socialist. I've had amazing teachers. Have I had asshole Marxist socialist teachers? Yes, that's also true. Do they dominate the world of higher education? Of course they do. But that doesn't mean it's all of them. And I know that's a nuanced thing, but I think it's very important, especially as a trader, because you don't want to be... There's no such thing as a 0 or 100% chance in the market. The market lives in that gray area between 99 and 1. So if you want to apply some absolutist mindset to other aspects of your life, go for it. It's probably not going to be a good thing. But it's definitely when it comes to the world of trading, you want to always think of okay, what happens if I'm wrong here? In which ways could I be wrong here? Absolutist mindset is not a good thing to have. If you don't live in New York City, why y'all concerned with New York City politics? I do live in New York City, so that's why I'm concerned with it. But as to other people, I don't know. I don't live in San Francisco, and I'm still concerned with the fact that Newsom has run that town into the ground. I don't live in LA. I'm concerned about the fires. I'm concerned about the fire department and how they let everything burn down and how their policies have corrupted it. That's a stupid statement. You're saying you could only be concerned with someone's politics if you are directly impacted by it. I mean, I happen to not be a Muslim in a Uyghur camp in China, but I happen to think that that's a pretty poor political move to enslave a bunch of people. But that's, I guess, more of a human thing. That's actually an insane statement, that you can only have a political opinion on something if you are involved in it. I've never been involved in a murder. I've never murdered someone, and I've never been murdered. And yet I would have the legal political stance that we should probably not be murdering people. That's actually a fucking insane statement, that you can only have an opinion or only be concerned with something if you are like directly involved. That's absolutely insane. Am I directly involved in Iran? No, but I don't think we should be starting a war there. That's a pretty crazy statement, right? And guess what? Don't live in Iran. I know it might look like I'm in New York City right now, and you might believe that, but actually I am in Iran. This is Matt Kohrs. We're taking the show on the road, and we're doing it live from Iran right now. That's like saying I don't care about the ocean's pollution because I live in the forest. That's a good point. You're like, how could you care about the ocean's pollution? You live in the forest. You live in the mountain, Mr. Mountain Man. That's fucking so dumb. Oh, but what do you expect? It's the internet. How do you know we all aren't murdered? That's a good question. I don't know how I would be able to disprove that. Never murder anyone. False. I've seen you murder Greg's and time in chat for 4 years. Fair point. That's why I'm actually now supportive of murder. All right. Spy grinding it up. Q's going a bit flat. Meta popped going flat. Netflix waking up. What else is green? Nvidia is green. Palantir is dropping. Coin is dropping. What the fuck? All right. Tesla's maybe fighting its way back up here. It's trying to fight its way back up. We have the Qs taking a little bit of a dip. A little bit of a dip. SPY options flow is strong. MAG 7 options flow flat until about 9:47. Potentially just waiting for this 10 a.m. announcement. So that's exactly what I'm attempting to do as well. What else? Are we missing anything else here? SPY, another new all-time high. Remember, targeting this 6170. That's another major open interest level. You guys know my plan. I wouldn't mind a pop, a pullback, a higher low, and then playing it off of that all the way up to the next major open interest level. But let's see what the market gods want to give us today. Let's see what the old market gods want to give us today. We do have major support here. We have this intraday support, but we were just getting this slow grind up, and you're seeing that exactly in the options market. People are lightly selling puts, but they're more so buying calls. Decent amount of positive gamma being added today. I wish that were playing out in all of our major equities. Remember, shout out to Vanquish. They are today's stream partner. They are the partner of today's Payday Friday giveaway. We're going to be doing that around roughly 10:30, where we're going to be giving away $150 of cold hard cash and also 3 different Vanquish accounts. So the way I am trading here with some of the future stuff, if you want to trade sim to funded as in with someone else's money, but if you want to do it in the world of options, that's exactly what Vanquish is for. They just rolled out a new platform that works and looks exponentially better, and they also just rolled out advanced options trading. So before you were confined to just buying calls or just buying puts, but now you could do whatever you want. They have advanced option trading, so iron condors, credit spreads, debit spreads, really any combo you want, you can now do it. So 2 major developments for the world of Vanquish: better platform and advanced option trading. So once again, good way to minimize your risk, basically trading with someone else's money. If you want to try to take their test, see if you could pass. If you use that code GOONY, you could get 35% off and get a free reset if you don't have luck on that first test. SPY, continuation, Q's continuation, Tesla actually getting a continuation, and Meta potentially winning at that 730 battle, setting up my next test of 740. Actually, I need to bring this back up because I might need to lock in some gains today. I might need to lock in some gains on that one today. Let's see. Oh, 735 is the test, then 740. Okay, so 735, 740. If you're playing meta, those are the interesting levels to watch, which is probably why I set an alert there at 735. Quite a bit of positive gamma at 735, so could be a bit of a battle. As a guy with a degree in accounting, the only Marxist professors I had were the ones who taught the electives that I was forced to take in order to get my degree. Yeah, less common of a showing to have a Marxist professor in the STEM field. Who would have thunk it, you know? Who would have thunk it? Good short opportunity incoming. Fucking why? Fucking, I'm channeling my inner Socrates here, but why in the fuck are you trying to short? Brother, we're at an all-time high. What the fuck are you possibly doing? In what time frame are you looking at that suggests you want to go fucking short? Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like I'm bashing my head off a goddamn wall. The minute chart is ripping. The daily chart is fucking ripping. The 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30. What the fuck are you possibly seeing that you're like, oh, I got a short now? What a stupid fucking idea. Dude, you know how when you're growing up, they're like, oh, there's like no stupid questions. That was in fact a stupid question. That was definitely a stupid fucking question. What in the fuck are you possibly looking at? Yeah, just go short in the face of price action up, of options market fucking ripping to kingdom come. Dude, you're stepping in front of a steamroller. You're stepping in front of a Boeing 747 and you're like, this is where it turns. Jesus Christ. Don't do it. That's a Tim level idea. That is a dumb fucking idea. How in the fuck could Jesus, you just can't. This is my daily reminder that you just can't help everyone. There are some people who you cannot help. Just stepping in front of an absolute fucking, a semi going down the highway at 110. You're stepping in front of a fucking Mack truck. Don't. That is the silliest thing. Oh, Jesus. This is why retail traders lose, because they just think, well, maybe it goes down now. It doesn't have to go down. That's the craziest thing. Yeah, so to summarize puts, if you're touching puts, you should be selling puts. That's just, damn, I guess I could have bought that breakout. It's just a little ballsy going into the 10 a.m. announcement. We're at 9:57. We're 3 minutes out, but you probably could have already made your profits in the time. You could have already been done on the freaking day if you wanted to. Done on the freaking day. Speaking of which, 781. Whoa, I do not need 10 contracts. That's crazy. That could have been disastrous. Should I degenerately play on the Vanquish account? What is today? 6/27. Here's the weekly. Should I play this report? Stop market. Nope. Market. How are you guys feeling about the report? My financial health is in your hands. At 10 a.m., do you think we're popping or we're dropping? But if you feel so confident, then buy. Bro, I have over $100,000 long right now. I've been buying this entire time. I locked in $50K today or yesterday, and I rolled it even more. What do you mean? Dude, I've been doubling, tripling, quadrupling down long. Dude, there's a huge difference here. I've been playing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of live positions, and you're playing with like a single put right now. We're on completely different levels of trading. Pop, then drop. Pop, lock, drop. Dropping. Whoever's buying puts, I'm selling them. Be reactionary. But that's not fun. Pop, drop. You're all saying dropping. All right. What time is it? I want to do this. Okay, we have 1 minute to go. Confirm and send. Create order. All right, I just got a fill. I have 10, and I got in at 890. Let's see if we can get out of these at $10. Let's see if we could get lucky. I'm putting in a setting order, create order. All right, let's see if it can pop. Let's see how lucky your boy can be. Let's see how lucky your boy can be. Right at resistance. All right, we're going to find out. I have about 30 seconds to go. Nothing like going long at resistance. All right, don't fall much. All right. All right. I'm in at 890. It's trading at 860. What's it going to be? All right, we're going to find out in 12 seconds. Come on, Lucky Pop. Lucky Pop. Let's see. 3, 2. Small pop. Small pop. Bigger pop. Smaller pop. Bigger pop. Smaller pop. Bigger pop. Smaller pop. Did it lock it in? Was that enough? Nope. We're getting there. We almost got there. 950, 940, 960, 970. It almost got me the fill. Got up to, I saw 970. My order's sitting at $10. 970, 970, 970, 970, 970, 980. Fill. He got it. He got it. Order filled. Easy way to make $1,100. Who's that guy that was telling me I should put my money where my mouth is? Where did he go? Well, that guy got awfully quiet. Where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go there? Huh? Where do we go? Where did he go? Oh, why does everyone always get so quiet? Why do they always get so quiet? It's just, I miss my buddies, you know? The best sim trader ever. Is that why I'm up hundreds of thousands of dollars on my option swing account? Isn't that funny? Of like, you have a person who's like actually made no money whatsoever, and then he comes at me because I can make money on my real accounts and on my sim accounts. Bro, I'm dominating the game in all arenas, and here you are on the bleachers wishing you could pull off 1/10 of what I do. It's just, how many L's can you take in a day before you're just so incredibly embarrassed? Like, you're so funny. Like, you're running around trying to come up with like another reason, and yet time and time again, you're just wrong. And like, at a certain point, it's actually statistically impressive how wrong you are just continually being. Like, at a certain point, you think you would just have a lucky break of making a random right call because the market is normally distributed, but you must have done something in a past life to really piss off a market god, because it's actually statistically impressive how perpetually wrong you are. Perpetually wrong you are. Wow. It's all right, buddy. You'll get it one of these times. I just hope you're on a paper account, because you're not really cut out for the real game right now. A little humility goes a long way, Matt. You have 0. Thank you. I appreciate that. Humility, I don't have room for it in my life. The best semi-trader ever this side of the Mississippi. That's the reason why you keep doing YouTube channel, to fund his habits. Dude, my YouTube revenue, I don't even think I make $2K a month. If I lived on my YouTube revenue, I would literally be below the poverty line. Ask my producer. He gets upset every single time we look at my YouTube revenue. Do you know how many times I get demonetized because I'm playing other people's shit? I play songs. People like you report me. If you think I did this for the content money, I would literally be below the poverty line. And that would just be me. No less taxes, no less paying my employees. Dude, I make or lose in a trading day what I make in an entire year doing content. One trading day, I make or lose generally a multiple of what I make in an entire year doing content. And you think I'm doing this, dude, to fund my habits? How stupid could you possibly be? How fucking dumb could you possibly be? I wish, dude. I wish. Do you know how much less stress would be in my life if content funded my habits? Dude, I definitely wouldn't drink as much alcohol as I do. I wouldn't have to fucking sweat it as much as I do. I fucking wish, man. I love it. Once again, man, you're just always so perpetually wrong. How is this possible? How is this possible that you're just so incredibly wrong on every single fucking thing you're trying to pitch? Man. $2,000. $24K a year. Oh, man. Seriously, I remember Short the Vic saying he made $30K a year from streaming. He has way less subs than you. It's because almost all of mine get demonetized. Almost all of my shit gets demonetized because we're playing other people's content. We play music, whatever. It's deemed to not be suitable because I swear. It's because like literally most of my shows end up getting demonetized. So it's just like, it's just zero, like whatever. Yeah, it's what happens when like YouTube is like notoriously strict. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but when I swear, when we play music, it's just almost all of them get demonetized. Almost all of them get demonetized. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour bullish. We did break above. That was a nice long. It was a ballsy long though, because of the 10 a.m. Michigan numbers and the consumer numbers. But anyway, we got that breakout on 10. There was a data drop there. Of course, you could have risked this low, but like, you never know how people are going to react. Like, yes, this play clearly would have worked out for you, but I actually prefer maybe waiting for it to settle. I'm still kind of waiting for some form of a pullback. Technically, you could have counted 57, 58, and 59 as that pullback. Not my favorite play, though. The R word, generally when I say retard, that tends to not bode well for my monetization. Tends to not bode well. My videos get demonetized for showing protest footage. YouTube is wild with strictness. Yeah, I remember one time I played a video that I saw on Twitter, and I actually got a strike against me because it was like deemed whatever. It related to like the Pfizer jabs and that shit, and James O'Keefe and one of his videos. It ended like I got an official strike against me for that. And I literally was just playing a video. I was like, oh, like, what's this about? And that like got an official strike against the channel. If you don't have family friendly content, you really don't make that much money off of YouTube. You have to have like very like at most PG-13, but maybe just PG content. Other than that, they just love to demonetize everyone. And what's crazy is like they end up just keeping a lot of the money themselves. Like, it's stupid. It's really fucking stupid. Stupid question. When you get demonetized, YouTube keeps the money, or do they try to give the money to content creators you use? It depends on why you were demonetized. If it was because of other people's content, the other person gets it. If it was deemed to not be safe for advertisers, they then keep all of the money that they've already played for that particular video. It's super fucked up. Thank you for the greatest market show. I mean, folks, we're literally the best show. Like, the best traders, the best information, the best community, the best songs, the best thumbnails, the best titles, like across the board. There's a reason why, technically I'm counting the Rumble and the YouTube views together, but there's a reason why this show gets, in terms of live streaming, there's a reason this show is number one. Once again, is it number one independently on YouTube? No, I get that. I get other people who are just on YouTube get higher YouTube numbers. But when you put together my Rumble and my YouTube numbers, there's a reason why this show is number one, because it's actual trading, unlike these other bullshit shows who are like just making it up as they go and they have no idea what they're talking about. Options flow on Tesla, dude. Meta, we're going for the big test on Meta. Remember, 735 is the major open interest level. Major open interest level. I pray every day Matt does not sell out. Dude, that's so funny because I pray I'm praying to sell out. Just no one's offering me the bag. Dude, fucking I get on my bed every night and I'm like, fucking someone come in with a big bag. Like, just give old Mateo that paycheck. Folks, do you know how fucking quickly I would be gone? I'm literally hoping for the opposite. Like, give your boy the money. I just want the fucking dinero, man. Give me the payday. They're just not coming. They just don't like me. I am deemed to be not brand safe. But I mean, I don't know. If you guys are hearing murmurs about it, of like, yo, like they might actually be paying them, like, fucking give me the money, man. Sell out. Fuck. I'd sign on that goddamn dotted line faster than you could even blink. They just don't like me. I think it's racism. It's just, oh, what was that? Someone took some profits. Someone took a little bit of profits right there at a random 1009 trade. Ooh, right here. We have some profit taking. We have a little bit of profit taking. Someone, the old double doozy, selling some calls, buying some puts. Puts haven't really moved much, but you definitely see this a slight hit on the call side. A slight hit on the call side. Nothing to be crazy about. It's just literally someone locked in profits, which, can you blame them? We just broke out of an open interest level. We're at potentially another key level of 170. Dude, do I need to take that? I'm not in love with this trade, but are they going to make me do it? As safe as Alex Jones. They just don't like me, man. The Illuminati. Dude, I wish the Illuminati would come knocking. You know who I want to come knocking? What's that? Not Viagra. What's like the shit that people eat to get like rock hard after a night of drinking? Something Chew. Blue Chew? Blue Chew. Dude, how is Blue Chew not sponsoring this channel? Do you know how much fucking Blue Chew I would sell for them? Well, this candle's brought to you by, this rock hard candle's brought to you by Blue Chew. Damn. If only, man. If only. They're missing out. I wouldn't even necessarily need to sell it to you guys. I would just eat it on stream. We would do challenges. We would just do daily challenges. I'm already hard from watching this show without Blue Chew. That's very kind. Whoa, what was that little? Was that a real print or is that bullshit? Is that a real print or is that bullshit? I'm taking a stab at it. We're going to see how this one goes. I do like that. What time is it? It's 10:12. What time is it? It is 10:12. I'm just going through and I'm sanity checking that what I did was not completely fucking stupid. 80 needs to be my risk. This is saying 70 needs to be my risk. So one is saying 80, one is saying 70, so I'll cut it in half. My bot system is recommending halfway through. It's a little bit chasey, but today might just be a classic runaway day, and I don't want to miss the train if it is a runaway day. 10, 30, 30, 40. By the time it gets to 35 or 40, I'm going to move my stop to break even here. All right. Meta. Okay, Meta's battling it out. No surprise, we're getting a little bit of a rejection. We're running into a major gamma node. Actually, how do you remove total gamma, next expiration, monthly expiration? Okay, total gamma minus next expiration. So this is how much gamma we're losing. Wait, what was that? What did I just mark? My own brain is now backwards on this one. Total gamma minus next expiration. And that's this dotted line? Yeah. So this, okay. This is interesting. So what this means, and it took me a second to put it together, is this dotted line is the total gamma minus what's about to expire, which means this 735 resistance on Meta, it's gone today, but then this long call is actually still going to be there. So that's actually helpful for us. So even if Meta has an issue getting above 735 today, it doesn't matter because that position expires today. It's donezo today. So yeah, might it have a bit of an issue? Yeah, I mean, we already ran into it. But the good news for us is if it continues to be resistance, the play expires. It's going to be gone. But fortunately for us, this play at 740, which is offering negative gamma, which is going to be good for us to get up there, is actually still live. So this major gamma bar up here, gone today. Gone today. That's a good thing. But where's the inflection point? Yeah. The issue is we're not seeing bets coming in for much higher. And I get it because 740 is the all-time high on Meta. So, like, that's what people are focusing on. This play is basically Meta running up to the all-time high. But we're not seeing fresh bets come in for higher than that. So there's an interesting play up to 740, but it does get a little bit dicey above that, just to clarify. You chasing the top? Yeah, kind of. I kind of am. I just didn't know if this was going to be a runaway train. Obviously, I'm just kind of risking some of these recent lows. It's not my best trade. Definitely not my best trade. I'm break even. I'm not risking that much on it. Honestly, if it goes here anyway, that would have been a better trade. So, like, effectively, I would have had this same entry. Yeah, so we pop, we pull back. You're risking 800. Basically, I was trying to play this bounce off of 800, a key psychological level. People like to play the 100 rung. So if it were to bounce here, I would literally have the same entry anyway. Granted, I did get in a bit earlier, but hey, would you rather be lucky or skillful? Well, definitely I'd rather be lucky, but maybe I'm getting unlucky here. But regardless, if this goes too far against me, that's exactly why I have my risk set. Or I could just go for it today. Where are we at? Yeah, maybe this is the dip right back to this key level. Should I be moving my risk down to the 959 low? What is the 959 low? Right. Should I be moving it to this breakout? That's the real question. What is that? That's 64. Because this is the real breakout bar from that announcement. I wonder if that's a better place to be basing my risk off of. I mean, that's a 1-to-1 risk to reward, 860. If I were to do this right, that's a perfect 1-to-1 risk to reward. So basically, 1-to-1, like, whatever. You make 50 points, you lose 50 points, but I'm playing it in the direction of the overall trend. So that's another way you could, like, potentially think about it. I don't know. We're going to see how things play out. This is the dip. Like, I was thinking that maybe this was the dip at 1009. We saw some profit taking. Apparently, there's now another wave of profit taking. Meta getting hit at that 735 gamma resistance. Tesla trying to hold steady at 327. Avago back slightly green. Palantir not having a good day. Nvidia's up 1%. I believe the minute 2 of the day, minute 1 of the day, whatever the fuck it was, new all-time high there. Netflix is going and going and going. Netflix, that's a new all-time high. We should probably do a Netflix breakdown while we're here. 20. So Netflix is, okay, the way Meta ran up to its resistance and we had to watch, that's exactly where we're at right now. And this is a play also for today, expiring today. 1,320, and we're at 1,320. Huh. You don't say 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish. Why does that not seem right? Did it mark it out properly? Okay, it did. I just wanted that high and that low. Same thing here. Did it mark it out properly? All right. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute. So the momentum on all 4 time frames on the S&P 500 and on the NASDAQ is all bullish. Looking at the options flow, bullish on the Mag 7. Oh, so puts started to get purchased at 1010. So the SPY had a nice rip up till 1010, and this is still bullish, but let's just pay attention to this. Is this the start of a new trend here, or is this just a higher low? So I'd be looking forward to take out this delta high that we saw at 1014 to feel a little bit more comfortable, but overall the trend is still evidently up. If anything, we might just be looking for a bounce off of this key open interest level. So hopefully this can hold. Hopefully this is just another higher low and we could play this continuation. In reality, I should have waited to go long right here and just risk this low or risk the 9:59, 10 a.m. low. This would have been a better entry if I were, well, maybe just wait for the minute bar to close, but we're just closer to support, so it's a way to minimize your risk. But obviously, Meta right here, we got some serious profit taking as we ran into that level, but I'm hanging my hat on the fact that that level will be disappearing today. It expires today. But I should have been patient for this point. This is right now is a better entry long than when I got in. And actually, I'll put my money where my mouth is on that one. All right, I got to fill at 8:30. Let's ride that one back up to 10. All right, we're going to see if we can run this one back. All right, the order is in there. I'm in at 8:30, currently trading at 8:50. I'm trying to get out of all 10 of these at $10 flat, and let's see if we could rack up another 1,000 plus. So here's the live trade all the way up here. I've already locked in 1.1K, and we're seeing if we could ride this one up again. And if I hit both of those, I'd probably call it a day here. But obviously, if you want to trade, once again, check out Vanquish, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Speaking of which, I completely forgot that we're doing a Payday Friday giveaway. If you haven't already, you could throw your hat into the arena here on Locals. 3 people from Locals, 1 from Rumble, 1 from YouTube. So all you have to do on Locals, and you're allowed to compete in all of these if you want, just follow what the other 73 people have done. I just need a way to reach out to you if you are the winner so I can send you your money or the accounts or anything like that. So I just need a way to reach out to you. But that's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. So once again, check all of that out. And then if you want to compete on YouTube or Rumble, we're going to be picking those people in real time. So there's nothing you could do at this exact moment. Actually, did that already hit? Almost. We're going for it. We're going for it. Bring me home. We're at 980. Let's see 10, 970, 980, 990. Lock it in. Was it not locked in? Was it? What the fuck? There we go. America. That's what Toby Keith is all about. 2.8K locked in. Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know. Am I the best trader ever? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Am I the best trader ever? Maybe. No one really knows, folks. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But 2.8K locked in. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. What's funny is I literally told you the trade. I was like, oh, this was a better entry. And then I took it in front of your faces. And then I made 1,700 off of that trade on top of the 1,100 I already made. That's what the American dream is about. The American dream is about taking a high amount of unmitigated risk and letting the die roll. That's what it's about. That's what America is about. Netflix battling it out. Meta maybe coming back up. Someone said Tesla's popping. Ooh, Tesla is finally fucking popping. Let's look at the individual flow. Tesla. Ooh. Well, don't mind if I do. Enchanté. A lot of put selling, decent amount of call buying. Tesla's getting that flow. Nvidia is getting that flow. Palantir is not getting that flow. Microsoft is not. Apple is not. Netflix is. MicroStrategy is. Meta was. Avago, no. AMD, no. Tesla is actually looking pretty fucking strong there. Wow. All right, here, back to the Mag 7. Mag 7's popping. SPY, not liking this. Not liking the lack of follow through there. All these pussy put buyers trying to fade the highs. It's because their mom doesn't love them. That's why. That's why it's getting a bit faded. It's because their mom never loved them. So they're natural contrarians. And like they don't want anyone to have a fun time. The people who are buying puts right now, it's objectively because their mom does not love them. That's why. They just like have grown up in a world to like hate life. Not necessarily my fault. But I'd be looking for this trend line. Looks like we had a fake out breakout. We almost had that reversal, but now the new test is for the first time today, something just happened on MSTR. I don't know what it was. MSTR, where's MSTR? A breakout going for 400 up 2.3%. Anyway, right now, this is our first lower high on the day, comparing whatever the intraday high is, 1012, to this or the next high at 1021. So first lower high on the day. So a big test here is going to be this key level. Do we bounce off of it? Do we not bounce off of it? Yada, yada, yada. You guys get the point. Where's VWAP? VWAP is down at 42. VWAP is down at 42 on NQ. So this actually might be setting up for a beautiful trade if we can find support here. That's a big if. I don't know if buyers are going to step in. I don't know if the put buyers are going to be taking profits. All I can tell you is this is a key level worthwhile to pay attention to. I have no mystical model that tells me, do we bounce? Do we break down? All I can tell you is from an options perspective, it is important. So we're going to see if the bulls want to defend it. I mean, we're actually getting into some negative gamma there. We ran up. It's negative. Hang on. Let's check this out. The big guys are still buying. That's what this suggests, is the big guys are still buying. This is a cumulative tick. We're counting the instances above 1,000. So the big guys are still partying it up. I think this dip is to be bought, personally. I'm not your mom. All the momentum is bullish. The one thing I don't like here is the recent trend in the SPY flow. Like if this could stop, see how the white line is price. Don't worry about that for a second. Let's look at the delta flow of the purple and the light green. Lower highs, lower lows. I want that trend to stop. I want it to go back to the trend that we saw this morning. So basically, I want to see it take out a recent high. I want to see the delta gain some strength. I would prefer to stop seeing, like we've had put buying since 10:10. 10:10 is the start of put buying, and I need that person to chill. And also since that time, the call buying has stopped. We haven't really, like the calls are just kind of going flat while people have been buying puts. So that's just adding negative delta to the system. So I'm basically praying that trade stops and we get some positive follow through. The Mag 7's good. I mean, it hit a new delta high at 1020. So hopefully this is just a little bit of a pullback. And if you're looking for a trade off of this, I think based on the current setup, well, hang on. I just want to check a couple things. Yeah, I think the play here is waiting for this trend line breakout because we do have a lower high, and that's something that should be considered. Wait for the trend line breakout, and you could your risk would be whatever the recent low is, whatever the recent swing low is. So that would be the play I would be considering right now. Had I not already had a position, which whoever pointed it out in chat, you're 100% right to say that, like, probably I shouldn't have chased it on whatever. I probably should have chased it either earlier or waited till now, but it seems like I got in, like, I try to wait for a little bit of a dip here around 1010. Unfortunately, we didn't get the follow through that I wanted. We got smacked with that lower high, and whatever. That's the risk you take. Sometimes this right here is the low, and we do keep going, and that's what I was hoping was going to happen. But it turns out if I just waited a little bit more, it could have got a better fill, but whatever. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You never know what's going to happen in the market. You're never going to, like, if that just kept going, I would have looked like a genius. In fact, instead, it just took a little bit more of a breather, and right now I just have to awkwardly wait. But the reason I'm not cutting it is because I'm doing my sanity check of, am I on the right side of the trend? Now, when you're defining trend, it's kind of up to you. But the reason I would argue the trend is bullish is the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the 4-hour are all on top of the EMAs for ES and for NQ. That is bullish. Looking at the overall options flow, it was bullish. Like I said, this is my major concern right here on the SPY, is that we are not finding our footing in the options market. So I'm basically praying that this could base soon. And yeah, it might base because we're at this key level. Like, this is it. Like, right. Is anyone surprised that we sold off to this level and now the market's just going sideways, trying to decide, doesn't want to be bullish or bearish? Either the bulls are going to step in or the bears are going to step in. It's one or the other. I don't know who's going to do it. I hope it's the bulls. I think it's more likely to be the bulls, but I'm not saying that with like 100% guaranteed confidence. Actually, I don't mind this trade here at all. We're breaking out of this little mini range and your risk is right at this level. So if you took this long right here, you could either risk 6169 or you could risk 6167. That is baby risk relative to trying to ride it back up to a new intraday high. So like I said, I don't know if this works. I don't know if it's going to run back up. I don't know if it's going to crater through. What I can tell you is a bullish position here is with the larger trend, looking at the daily, the 4-hour, and the 30-minute. So you are trading with trend. And even if you're wrong, you only have minimal risk. You could choose 6169, you could choose 6167, and obviously your reward is a multitude of whatever your risk is. So if you took this type of a setup time and time again, you're going to be net profitable because the odds are pretty good and you're getting more reward than you are risk. But remember, that is speaking as a system. You never want to get too focused in on an individual failure or success of a trading system, because even the best systems lose money. The worst systems can still make money. What you care about it is in the net process. Like, really, to be successful in the long term is just quality decision making time and time and time and time again. You don't want to get too caught up in like one individual trade. One individual trade is not how you make money. One individual trade is how you can blow out your account, but you're not going to really be retiring off one individual trade. So like I said, whether this does or doesn't work, it's this type of setup that if you are patient enough to wait for it for time and time again, and on this case, I would say the one thing I would like to be better of where it would go from like maybe like a B to an A setup is if we saw a swing around in the SPY options right here, because we are people aren't really touching calls. They're just continually buying 0 DTE puts right here. They're buying puts off that major open interest level or at the major open interest level. So this is the one trend that I would say, if you're bearish, you like, and if you're bullish, you don't want to be seeing right here, is this light blue, the teal line. That is 0 DTEs being 0 DTE puts being purchased. It is basically adding negative delta to the system, and it has been very persistent ever since 1010. So it's been 20 minutes of nonstop, just 0 DTE put buying. No one's really getting out of their calls, which gives me a little bit of hope, but they could start to bail on their calls whenever they want. But you can see how the calls are going flat. It's the delta movement right now is exclusively 0 DTE puts being purchased. The Mag 7's holding up stronger. Once again, a thing giving me a little bit of hope that we could recover out of here, but it's not going to recover until this trend stops. So rather than just buying that minute bar breakout or buying it right at support, if you wanted to, if you subscribe to Spot Gamma, you could literally just sit here and wait for the 0 DT put purchasing to stop. You could, if you have the patience, that's completely fair. You could wait till it goes flat, or you could wait till they start to get sold. But you can't, like, this trend just needs to chill. And when it does chill, which is going to be a prerequisite for the market to actually pop. Why are you spamming? Oh, sorry for the spam. Well, now that you said sorry, I appreciate that. Today is my B-Day, bro. I just want to say thank you, bro. The best gift ever. Been following you since 2019. I've been here. I know life was going to change when I got your cat. Hope you read. Well, I very much appreciate that support. That's very kind of you. And obviously, happy birthday. I hope you are gearing up for a fun weekend. I hope you are gearing up for a great weekend. Where's Meta? Yeah, Meta really did not like that 735 level. Really did not like that 735 level. Oh, I guess it is what it is. It is what it is. And now we're going sideways. And the fact that we're going sideways, let me set up one alert just so I know. I don't want to miss out on anything. I want to know if we have a little 10-minute fresh high. Just want to know if we have a little 10-minute fresh high. And then we could get to the Payday Friday giveaway. I don't want to forget about that because it is roughly that time once again. What is today's date? Today, I believe, is the 27th all day. Am I right on that? Okay. Where are we at? What are we doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Payday Friday giveaway, Payday Friday. All right, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. If you want to throw your hat into the ring for representing locals, like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Just do what these people have done. You still have time. I'll do this last. Remember, this is all sponsored by Vanquish. Use that code Goonie to get 35% off and a free reset. That's the exact SIMDA-funded options trading I'm using that I've already made 2.8K on today. Check it out. I think you're going to have a fun time. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And with that being said, let me get things going here, and we'll start off with YouTube. All right, giveaways. Let me see if I could do this properly. Giveaway, random number. Anyone can do it. Between 1 and 100. All right, we're going. It's live. It's live. Go, go, go. Vote faster. Faster, 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 faster. It's a number between 1 and 100. And who did we get? All right, Sam. Let me write this down. I don't want to forget. We do have our YouTube representative, Sam. Sam, do not go anywhere. Sam, do not go anywhere. Stay in chat, because if you're the winner, we're going to have to get your information. So stay in chat. If you identify as Samararian 7286, do not go anywhere. You got to stay in chat, because we might be reaching out to you. We might be reaching out to you. So please do not leave. Please do not leave. Random number generator. 10 to 25. 8. Oh, 17. 17. All right. All right. We are doing 17 comments past AP or AP unfiltered. 17 comments past that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Jack Frost. Jack Frost. We'll just call you Jack. Same thing with you, Jack. Jack Frost. If you identify as Jack Frost, do not leave Rumble chat. If you are the winner, we need a way to reach out to you. Do not leave chat. Jack Frost. You got to stay in there. You got to stay in there. All right. And then how many people do we have on locals? 95. So between 1 and 95. All right. We have 76. We have number 5. And we have 89. All right. Cool. We have those people. We have those people. Oldest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jeff. Good old Jeff. Good old Jeff. Jeff, you are number 5. The next one was 76. There are 25 per page, so that's 25. The bottom of this page would be 50. The bottom of this page would be 75. That's page 3, so it's the top of page 4. 76. Blaze. Blaze. And last one is 89, but I'm also getting alerts of a breakout. That's your opportunity. Your risk is the recent low. You're trading with trend. That's it. Will it work? Will it not work? I have no fucking clue. We are bouncing off of support. You have well-defined risk either at 6169, which I'm using the 1025 low, or you could use the 959 low. Obviously, you're going to have a bit more higher accuracy, but you're taking on more risk. You are trading with the overall trend. The final thing that I didn't like was those puts, but look at that right there. Big pop. So finally a trend change. That's what you had to have, like right here. Calls being purchased, puts being sold. That's the switch. Will there be a continuation? I have no fucking clue. I'm just telling you, it's a reasonable risk to reward setup. All right. Anyway, back to our last person. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. Brand new. Brand. All right, we have our competitors, Sam, Jack, Jeff, Blaze, and Bran. All right, let's do that. Let's do this. Let me put this up. All right, we're going for it, team. We're going for it. I'm still in this trade. Unfortunately, I'm just back to break even right now. Are these trading? Okay, they are. I was wondering. It's weird when you're break even because it shows nothing. So I didn't know if all of these positions were in a trade. Currently, I have 22 accounts. I have 20 Apex accounts and 2 take profit accounts. I should probably move my risk up as well. I probably should. All right. I don't want anything crazy to happen while we're doing this giveaway. But I'm just going for 50 points. I'm going for $1,000 per account. That's my max. I'm putting a self-imposed profit ceiling on the day. It's a Friday. I would love to lock in 22K and then from there just move on with my life. The market seems to be having a little bit of a tough time at 22,800. But that's all right because it is just a breakout. So maybe it's a real breakout. Maybe it's a fake out breakout. I have no clue. All I'm telling you, you could use the 1036 low. You could use the 1030 low. Netflix is going. I like to see that. How's old Tesla doing? Avago got a pop. Coin's getting hit. How's Palantir? Palantir's actually looking kind of sickly. Microsoft's flat. Coin's getting hit. Avago's looking good. Tesla was good. It's losing its footing. Nvidia's going. Meta, Netflix is looking the best. Netflix is looking awesome. Nvidia is looking actually pretty decent as well. The EU and the US are confident they'll reach a wait, what was that? That was an important one. So this is why we just randomly popped. The EU and the US are confident they'll reach a tariff deal by the July deadline. So this is actually a really good example of just you don't know what you don't know. You are only in control of your entries, your risk, and your management throughout. But this idea of the market being deterministic and there's an algorithm that controls it, that's so fucking stupid. And that's like my biggest issue with the ICT community. The ICT community thinks that there's an algorithm that just is controlling the market and it's predestined of where we go. And it's up to you to learn what the algorithm is so you can like follow it. But in reality, there's announcements like that cause a pop, that change the structure on the day. It put in a higher low, it caused a trend line breakout. There's no algorithm that could predict that was about to come out. This idea of like it being deterministic as if it's like written in the stars is a very, very silly thing to do. There are literally an infinite amount of unknowns. So this idea of when gurus and furus are trying to pitch like, oh, like I have the secret algorithm, the fuck you do. This is a game over and over and over again of just quality risk management. You look at your reward, you look at your risk, you try to find an edge, and it's just you doing it time and time and time and time again. That's how you win in this game. That is 100% how you win in this game. All right, I'm trying to boot up marbles right now so I can give away some cash. Congratulations to Jeff, Blaze, and Bran. Make sure you are already signed up on Vanquish because you're going to be getting a free Vanquish credit for that account. That's what you won already, and you might win more. But if you identify as Jeff, Blaze, or Bran, make sure you create an account on Vanquish if you don't already have one. Make sure you create it. All right, we have this. We have this. Actually, interesting. Do I really have to do that now? All right, those are they're on. Here's the look at the Mag 7 flow. Here's a look at the SPY flow. That's actually looking pretty strong now. That's going. Okay, Piper fired. All right, Piper's in there. I haven't sold any premium myself, if you were wondering, but I'm just writing my swing plays, but I do want to do this. All right, continue. Race. Random. We are on few will survive. Well, that doesn't sound so good. That actually sounds pretty scary, and hopefully we have at least one survivor. All right, representing a YouTube, we have Sam. Representing Rumble, we have Jack. And representing locals, we have Jeff, we have Blaze, and we have Bran, aka Brand New. All right, so we have our people, we have our bots. There are 5. Okay, we do this, we do this, we do that. You do this, you do that. What is that alert? What's the alert? Oh, breakout follow through on the S&P 500. If you are playing this, obviously we just made a new all-time high. The follow through level is now 6,200. That's the next major gamma level. So if you took this trade right here when we were talking about this breakout at 1026, if you took the trade at 1037, if you took literally what we we're discussing, congrats, you have a free play now. Set your stop to break even. If it follows through, great, you make a lot of money. If you are wrong, guess what? You didn't lose anything. This is the perfect play. It's a free lotto ticket play. You don't have to risk anything. You got it. It ran up to resistance. You set your stop to break even, which should be around 6172. And you're just now hoping that there's enough follow through in the Mag 7 and the SPY that keeps us rocking all the way up to 6,200. It is now a free play. Those are literally, that's why it's an A+ play, because you put yourself in a position to take on minimal risk. It went in your favor, and now you have to take on no risk. It is a free play. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. No harm, no foul. If it rides, great. You just made a lot of money with minimal to now no risk. That's how you should be approaching the market. That's, in my humble opinion, how trading should be taught, because this is exclusively a game of just risk management, risk management, risk management. Okay, where are we at? Margin called by my therapist. That sounds like it's going to be a good song. All right, let's get this up and going. We are here. We have Blaze, Sam. All right, we have our 5 competitors. Let's get a little bit of some tunes in the background here. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, your race announcer, am honored to be here today when we have 5 of the fastest competitors in all of the land. Folks, you're not going to want to blink, because if you do, you might miss the race. This track, randomly selected, is entitled Few Will Survive. Thankfully, the team here at Goonie Inc. recently bought more life insurance, because I don't think that all 5 of these racers are going to be surviving this particular stint. So, folks, please place your bets. Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to lose? Who do you think's going to survive? And unfortunately, who do you think is going to pass away? You got to cash your votes now, because that's the only thing that matters. Put out your votes now. Who wins, who loses, and who dies, because we are going to be starting our engines and ripping in 3, 2, 1.
Did your dad teach discipline or just dividend yield?
Ah! Uh-oh. Screen went black for a second. The ticker trauma. Is Blaze going to get the drop? Is Jeff going to get the drop? Who's going to go first? Who's making the first move? Who's going for blood? Who's going for blood? Jeff is making the drop. Jeff followed by Jack. Jeff makes the first move. Jack is in hot pursuit, followed by Bran. Jeff is coming up for the first whirly twirly. Jack makes a move. Wow, patience really paid on that. Jack shooting through, not getting caught up by the first obstacle whatsoever. Will he hit the speed up? He does. Will he do it again? Second time? No. Second time, he did get caught. Will this misstep allow Bran to catch up? Bran making the jump right now. Will he get through? No, Bran is dead. Unfortunately, Brand new, you are now Bran dead. Jeff going on the lower. Whoa, Jeff catching back up. Jack maybe losing a bit of his footing. Uh-oh, Jack, no, Jack. All right, it's now quickly going back to Jeff versus Blaze, but this is no longer a race. This is seemingly just, can you survive? And folks, I forgot to tell you that the finish point is actually mobile. It's moving. Jeff is going to be making a move. Will he catch it? Jeff? Ooh. This is getting awkward. This is my bad. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Well, that's awkward. They're all dead. They're all dead. All right, I will let you guys decide. Do you want to run it back right now, or do you want to double up next payday Friday? Do you want to run it back right now, same competitors, or do you want to 2x the next payday Friday? It is up to you guys. It is up to you guys. It is up to you guys. It is up to y'all. Murderer. Hey, as before, I was campaigning for the success of murder. Run it back, run it back, run it back. All right, we will run it back. We will run it back. Hello, final results. Random track. All right, we're running it back. We're running it back. All right, this one's called Marble Diner. And the SPY is hanging out at the all-time high while the Qs are losing a little bit of their footing. NVIDIA's looking good. Netflix is looking good. Meta needs to get back up to 735. That's the major test there. NVIDIA, Palantir's flat. Tesla a little bit down. Avago a little bit down. Coins getting hit. Profit taking there. Microsoft, Apple's getting hit. That's not Apple's dragging the Qs down for sure. Microsoft not really doing anything. So SPY still looking good. Qs a little bit left to be desired. Mag 7 holding, SPY holding. So things are holding right now. Will it continue? I don't know. But like I said, the trade I pitched you, at this point, you should be taking on no risk. This should be a freebie trade for all of you. And with that being said, let's find another song and another track. Well, we already have the track. We already have the track somewhere right here. What song? Matt Bieber, Obsession. All right, we are running it back with the ghost of Jeff, Blaze, Brand, Sam, and Jack. We are going in 3, 2, 1. Whoa. All right, who's getting the first drop? Sam making a move. So is Jack. Who's getting the drop? Who's getting the drop? Actually, it's a pretty close one. Sam edged his way out there. Sam leading Jeff, leading Jack. Blaze taking the left path, getting caught. Jack making a quick move there. Jack followed by Sam Rumble leading YouTube. Jack's getting the first drop, being followed directly by Sam, followed by Jeff, followed by Brand, and Blaze forgot that we are in a rape. Oh, there was a popcorn power up. I believe Jeff got it. Jack holding an early lead. Brand taking the inside track. Interesting. Will this pay off? Sam is actually trying to drift off of Jack, but ends up pushing him forward. This is whoa, was that a hot dog power up? Sam using the hot dog to his benefit and shooting forward. Uh-oh, getting a little caught. Will Jack be able to, Jack back in the league. So Jack lost it, gained it back. Now stair-stepping down, followed by Sam. Will he stay on the track this time? Uh-oh, what is this? This looks like a gas chamber, folks. This can't be good. Oh, I'm getting jostled just watching it. Will Jack survive? Followed by Brand and Blaze. Blaze is probably used to it, blazing in there. All right, Jack, are you going to get going? What are you doing? Jack in the box. Dude, we still have quite a bit of a path left. We're going through the snake alley right here. What's happening? Which way is he going? Jack, you got to make a decision, man. Which way is he going? Left or right? Left or right? Left or right? Oh, left. He survives. Oh, and perfectly gets the drop. That's a high-end professional move right there. That is a high-end professional move. Rumble leading the way, but he is caught in a maze like Harry Potter. Blaze uses the confusion to take the lead. Blaze going for the grass-based turnstile, followed by Brand. Oh, Blaze, goes backwards, goes forwards. He's moving backwards to moving forward. And Sam takes advantage of the confusion. Sam, out of nowhere. Sam I'm Marion, or whatever the fuck your name is. What a move at the last second. Followed by Jeff, followed by Jack, followed by Brand, followed by Blaze. Folks, today, YouTube wins it. YouTube wins it. Sam, how'd you pull that one off there, bucko? What a race. Well, technically, it was the ghost of Sam who won. The ghost of Sam won. But hey, victorious nonetheless. Victorious nonetheless. Sam, what is your Twitter handle. Sam, we need your... I'm in YouTube chat right now. I need a way to give you your winners. Sam, wait, oh, is that actually your YouTube? Or, sorry, is that also your Twitter handle? I just want to make sure I have the right one. I don't want to be giving some rando your money, you know? That could get embarrassing. That account doesn't exist. Feels like maybe... Sam, I need you. I need you. Come on, guys. You're making... I was just tagging him. Oh, okay, I didn't know if that was his actual Twitter handle. Sam, where are you, buddy? We're tagging you in YouTube chat right now. Instagram. Yeah, what is your... I just need the handle. I see that you said Instagram. But what's the actual handle for Instagram? Is it the same thing as your YouTube? I just need a way to reach out to you, to send you your winnings. Netflix going for another new all-time high. Sam, help me help you. Help me help you. I see that you've said Instagram now twice. What the fuck is your handle, Sam? Don't... Oh, there we go. There we go. Got it. 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 Got it, doctor. All right. We got it. Be on a lookout for a DM from me right after today's show. Go check your DMs. Make sure random people can DM you. Be on a lookout on your Instagram for a DM from me. Please be prepared to look for a DM from me so I can get your PayPal stuff so I can send you your money. And congrats, man. Congrats. And also congrats to Jeff Blaze Brand for winning a Vanquish account. Whoa. What's going on with the old market here? Is it because Putin's talking? Apparently Putin's talking right now. Apparently Putin's talking. Old Putin. Old Tootin' Putin. That's what they call him in the biz. Actually, where was that? Is he upsetting the markets? Trump, I will hold an 11:30 ET news conference at the White House on Supreme Court rulings. Putin is speaking right now? That doesn't look like Putin. And I'm also not getting any
decisions. The
Russian ambassador to the UN. We need to confirm time and place for
prevent or
talks.
resolve crises that flare up around the world. But you know, UN doesn't have any magic pill. You cannot really have inflated expectations from multilateral diplomacy when the state of world affairs is such as it is. Well, you cannot eradicate human sins. So, I mean, quoting a classic, this is the art of possible.
Listen, I'll give you some examples of what's going on right now. You know it well. At least Colin Powell once went to the United Nations and he lied. Bibi Netanyahu showed a bomb and said this bomb's about to go off, and he was essentially lying as well. But at least they went and they lied. Today, countries are just doing whatever they want to do without even going to the United Nations, without even making a case before they act. That seems to most people to be bothersome. It must be bothersome to you as well.
Not all of them, but some of them definitely do. And
what are we talking about in this?
Security Council that it cannot live up to its.
This seems a bit strange, but what I can tell you is, on top of apparently Putin talking right now, which might be that, the other piece of news as of a minute ago, according to Trump, I will hold an 11:30 ET news conference at the White House on Supreme Court rulings. Also, just a quick note, NQ, the NASDAQ, is back to VWAP, and ES is actually still above it pretty evidently, actually. Yeah, so we might be getting a VWAP. Well, we are getting a VWAP test right now on the NASDAQ. So maybe we break down, maybe we bounce. I don't know. On Microsoft, I'm not liking that trend down. Apple has not been looking the best either. So 2 of the 3 biggest stocks not trending the way you want them to. But the world's biggest stock right now, NVIDIA, is trending the way you want it to. Not at all happy with Palantir. Palantir is currently getting smoked. Doesn't make me feel so good. Netflix, new all-time high, having an issue at 1,320, which is a huge open interest level. Meta also getting smoked at that 735 level. Maybe it can come back and retest, but you can see tech's getting a little bit hit ever since 1045. The SPY's been holding up better on a relative basis. The overall market is stronger than the tech sector, most likely because number 2 and number 3 biggest stocks in the world, Microsoft not really doing anything, and the number 3 biggest stock is actually getting hit. So that's going to be problematic specifically for tech. The Mag 7 taking a bit of a dip ever since 1045. The S&P 500 kind of sideways. It was dipping down until 1035. Then we popped. Then we dipped. Is this a higher low? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But what I can tell you is we are still at this key level. So at this point, you might have taken your profits there at the top of it. If not, you probably just got wicked out. And that's just a safety precaution. Of course, you could always re-enter right here if you want. Guess what? Your risk is still here. If it rides back up, great. Stop, set to break even. You could wash, rinse, repeat. But you just have to always protect your downside and just know that random things happen, such as these announcements. I don't know how the 1130 stuff is going to impact the market. You just don't know what other people are going to do. So this game is perpetually just risk management, risk management, risk management. And on a personal level, I find life to be far, far easier when the trades you're executing are with the larger trend. Just because then if you're wrong, you still have a chance of, if you're wrong in the short term, you have a chance of the either medium or longer term trend persisting, and maybe the market catches you and then you end up like getting lucky. But fading the trend is just, it's a stupid fucking thing to do. It really, really is. It's a dumbass thing to do. So obviously be careful with it. All I can tell you is we're at VWAP. Maybe we bounce, maybe we don't. I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. I could tell you the SPY is range bound. It's been range bound since 10. The Q's kind of range bound. It depends on if you're counting this as the breakout bar or this as the breakout bar. If you're only counting the 10 a.m. bar as the breakout bar, then you're saying it's slightly breaking down. But if you're counting 9:55, overall, we're really actually not just doing that much. Very much disappointed in Palantir's movement today. Happy with Netflix. Meta was to be expected, and hopefully we find support on this trend line, the bottom of the low on SPY. Hopefully the Nasdaq finds support here, which is at VWAP, easily could bounce off of that level. And then I want to see this retest of the intraday high and the all-time high on the SPY, and I would love to see this rip. So basically, I want to see the test at 6,179, and then I want to see the rip all the way back up to 6,200, the next open interest level. On the NASDAQ, I would want to see a base here, and technically that is lower highs and lower lows, and then I want to see the retest of this trend line and ideally the breakout and the follow through, but clearly having a tough time at that trend line as of now. On a relative basis, the SPY is stronger than the Qs, but that's also for now. You never know how things are going to end up playing out. You just don't know. But overall, folks, that's what I have for you. You might want to tune in to President Trump speaking about 30 minutes on the Supreme Court stuff. It doesn't, on the surface level, really sound like it's going to be impacting the market that much, but you never know, so you might want to pay attention. Remember, this game is all about risk-reward. Minimize your risk, maximize your reward, and stick to your trading plan. Congratulations to Jeff, Blaze, and Bran on getting a free Vanquish account. And then, obviously, shout out to Sam. I'll be reaching out to you on Instagram right after this to get your information to send you your money. Congrats on being a fast racer, and also sorry to all of you for dying in the very first one. A bit sad. Shout out to Vanquish for being the Payday Friday sponsor giveaway, and if you haven't already, don't forget to check out those update videos wherever you're watching right now, whether Rumble or YouTube. We've been doing update videos every single day. I really think you're going to like it. There's a lot of great information in there. So if you are an active trader, a day trader, scalp trader, swing trader, I think you're going to find a lot in those videos. So check out the description of the video or check out the channel at large. That's what I have for you. I hope you have a fucking phenomenal weekend. I hope you make a shitload of money today. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. If not, have fun. Make sure it's worth it. And I will catch you guys in the update video on Sunday. That's what I have for y'all. I'll catch you later. Love you. Peace.